are welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia, 31st of December 2024. My name is Jamal Kamara, coming to you live and direct from the city of Manchester, the UK. And tonight is the last edition of our 2024 since we started. So we want to say welcome. We want to take you through our 2024 editions from the 1st of January to 2024 December tonight. We want to say welcome. I want to take a quick musical break and be back. We want you to be with us. We'll take you through from the start of 2024 January to the end. Our editions. We'll be using most of the newspapers from Liberia, Liberian major newspaper headlines to give you what happened. But in the meantime, we'll take a musical break and come back. Be with us, stay tuned, stay buckled.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your hands. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people who us, the people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people who us, the people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you. That's why we vote tell you. But you screw us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people screw us, the people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not corrupt. I said no one to trust. My people no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then still they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not corrupt. With their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to be? You see, we just tell you. That's why we vote tell you. But you fool us. You screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to the Bottom Liberia. Jamal Kamara is my name tonight. With you is my colleague Paul the Lord Chilpley. Tonight we'll be going through most of our past the news events that made headlines in Liberia. But let me first welcome Paul and also welcome all those that are joining us, where you joining us from. Paul, welcome to tonight's show. The last edition of 2024, this is December 31st, and people are living, going back and going to churches now for the last night, Paul. And tell me, before we welcome our audience, our loyal fans, how do you feel tonight sitting in this seat at the end of the year, December 31st, Paul? Welcome, the Lord Paul Chilpley.
Good evening, Jamal. First of all, I want to say good evening to our audience and also season greeting as we get looking forward to entering the new year. I want to wish people happy new year. It's good to be back here to look at what happened through all the year, and to our audience, we will be looking at a few things here, the past activity in the year and how far we have come. And we'll also look at the performance of the government. Are they being graded A, B, C, or D? We'll have a lot of things to talk about, Jamal. I think we'll have a good discussion.
Right, thank you. I want to say thank you very much, Paul. We also want you to share the show tonight, wherever you are. Please help us to share the show. We will also join us on our Facebook link, as well as our we have a live web radio. This the Bottom Line Viewer. You can go on the Android and Play Store and download our app. You listen to it live as well. If you don't, you're not in the place where you can follow us on the video. So I want to welcome you to the Borderline Liberia, where we deep dive into the heart of Liberia's vibrant narrative. Over the past year, our nation has been the canvas of transformative stories, significant challenges, and remarkable resilience. From political shifts and economic developments to social movement and cultural milestones, the headlines have painted the complex picture of our society's evolution. In this show tonight, we will unpack the majors that have shaped Liberia, explore their implications, and reflect on what they meant for our future. Join us as we navigate the current of change and seek to understand the bottom line of our collective journey over the last 12 months. Let's get started, Paul. Where are we? Where do we start from? Yes, Paul. This is if you just don't know once again, welcome again. This is the Foya Boys in Coronation. Paul, what is a Foya? Those who follow us, the Natural Liberia, will tell you what Foya Boys Coronation means to us. Tell our followers, tell our listeners right now. This is the first year in January. What happened, Paul?
Well, good evening, Jamal. What happened here? The Foya Ball. This is His Excellency President Joseph Numa Bwaka. He's from the Gisi tribe in Liberia, and the region he comes from is the Foya region. So the news report told us from the beginning when he won the election, he said the Foya Ball coronation. That means he had been crowned the president of our republic, the Foya Ball, that have finally made it today.
You mean that it's a town called Foya Kamara. That's called Foya Kamara. In the state in Liberia, in this county in Liberia called Foya Kamara, we call it Foya. It's a town very popular in Lofa County, where the president comes from. So you see, it's a Foya boy. So you will see like a Lofa boy, Foya boy. So that's why I call it the Foya boys coronation. So this is indicating, this talking about his that was talking about his inauguration, the first day he got into power. You can see he wearing a traditional Gisi wear. That's just a traditional Gisi clothes. I think it's very traditional to the Gisi and the Lomans as well, right, Paul?
Yeah. And most time the traders say we call it the Loma gown.
Okay, right. So if you see the president standing right here, ready to get in, this January 22nd, after he won the election, and this is the day, so the 4-year coronation. So let's go. What comes next in that year? In that month. Right. Then the president.
Before we get to this one here, we want to move to this first. Yes,
okay.
That's what.
This is the new beginning, right? This is if you just joining us right now, we're just going through what happened in 2024 from the 1st of January to the 31st, which is today. We are wrapping up. This is a year in review. Now, the first one happened was the president's inauguration. The Bwaka pledges government of inclusion. This is a new beginning. And you can see he's raised his hand as he's taking his oath of office. And what happened? You can see being surrounded by the justices of the Supreme Court, few of the justices of the Supreme Court, then across African countries visiting that. And you can see being flanked by the First Lady as well. That's there's First Lady standing up, I can see, right?
Yeah, you can see the First Lady looking straight in the eye of her husband, said, "Yeah, the Foya boy is not in charge." This what they did. Yeah, there was the day. You see the Supreme Court, the boss, the chief of self, reading the how they call it, the swear to the Bible.
Yeah, swearing into the office. Yeah, the president swearing in the office. Yeah, and I like his clothes. Paul, he's not in those traditional people wear. When the past leaders, Paul, where they were wearing these smart suits, and I came from Ellen wore the African gown when she came in. George Weah wore a nice and clean, they call it now the purple suit. George Weah was in that one. And now the current president was wearing a traditional African attire. This is a semblance of Africa that compared to past leaders. If you see when Charles Taylor was sworn in office, he was in all white, but it was a smart suit, isn't it? That's much more Western suit. But compared to Mr. Boakai, President Boakai, he has the African. You can see from his hair to the toe, well dressed in the African, common African Liberian traditional wear. That was a good one, Paul. And he's been sworn by the Chief Justice of one of the Chief Justices of Supreme Court of Liberia. But what happened? What really happened? They're going. What happened?
I think the suit were okay because the newspapers to us say the Foya ball, so he have to be very traditional in his coronation here. So I think the dressing for the occasion the attire for the occasion were quite good.
All right, okay. Now, okay, let's go. And now there was after this, what happened? We expecting Liberia was gathering for with more hope. Now, this is where the president was speaking. The new president felt this is what we all watching. Liberia across all around the world. We're watching. Liberia watching everywhere. We're excited. We're hope. Now something just happened. President failed to end his inaugural speech. You could see from the pictures, Paul, and we all felt something's not right. You could see the security went to his support. They were fanning. You could see the paper they were saying they were fanning the president. So, Paul, you may have the video queue up for this. What really happened, Paul? Tell the audience. Bring back that. Yeah, go on, Paul. Go on. This is the moment.
That was the moment that the president could not continue his speech because he fell off. But we didn't want to show that part. But there was the moment on the inaugural day.
Wow.
Yes.
What was that meant to us as Liberia? Because we expected to end his speech. He did not. And after he was inaugurated, that's the most expected speech, like inaugural speech everybody wants to hear from the president. But at the end of the middle, somewhere at the beginning, he got stuck. Now he got frozen. And you could see the security rushing for his support. He was either out immediately taken off the stage and that was a scary moment for Liberians across the continent, everywhere. Liberians worried, what's going on? Paul, what did you think at the time when this happened? What happened? What do you think was happening?
Well, the thing is, the old man fell off, and thanks to the security that the guy was smart to surround him at that moment because they saw something was not right, and he collapsed. And what happened now, we meant to get up. I mean, in a normal country, Jamal, this is from that inaugural, they have given the country a feedback that, this is what happened to the old man at that inaugural, but we haven't had any feedback after report, nothing. So it just
but we were told that they were like something like Paul made the old man may have not taken medication because he's on medication and before he got on the stage. Or others report that came in, which we cannot verify, it said there was no fan. The inaugural committee was the inaugural commission. I mean, the committee that was set up was poorly planned. There was no fan, there was no water. The president was like too much of heat, and the president could not stand. He felt he was feeling I don't know. Well, he couldn't. You were feeling disoriented, and he couldn't continue his speech because things he didn't have water, he didn't have enough air. But then this was an open place. Why would you say that?
So the thing is, the old man being in the country, he used to the heat, so it was not something he just made a story. But usually, it's the medical team that would say this is what led to the incident. But we haven't had any report from the medical team, so that story just went dead. So we know that the old man collapsed during his speech.
Yeah, is anything in the Liberian history or any
story? Because I remember this thing about heat absorption. It started from Stephen Waterspoon on his network. He just made it up. So it was not that report coming from the ground. No, he made it up. But to get the actual report, we need a medical practitioner will say, oh, based on what had happened, it was heat absorption or he have not taken medication for XYZ. But no one in Liberia have gotten that report.
So Liberia were not giving the what happened to the president. I mean, the newly inaugurated president. What happened to no report. The president fell off. He did not complete his speech, and he was either off the stage. And Liberians were not informed of what happened to the president. I mean, this is the robbing of their own information. So why is it up to the president? We don't know the state of the health of the president. When that happened, people feel that something might happen. Absorption. He did not take his medication. Too many stories coming. When these things happen to people like the president, we expect a full report, but unfortunately, we didn't get a report. So, what did that tell you from the start of the leadership?
Yeah, not transparent. That's from the start of the election. They have not been transparent because one of the things they ran over transparency. Government, but they were not transparent at all. So we yet to know what happened to the president. Why did he collapse at his inaugural? We yet to know. There hasn't been any report on it. So it's only speculation. So people could speculate, say, man, because he was diabetic, he didn't have enough sugar in him, he didn't take sweet. People say that was heat absorption. So it's all speculation, but we needed a medical people to tell us, say, based on our medical report, this is what happened to the president during the inaugural speech. But we yet to get, so there's no transparency in this, although the government ran on transparency and accountability.
Right. If it's just joining us, this is Gabon Liberia coming to you live from the heart of Europe. Tonight is the end of 2024. My man, myself here, Paul, the Lord Children play with deep digging deep into 2024. What happened? If you see on the screen right now, the president did not end his speech. What happened? Paul is trying to give his own side of the story. Up to present, people are speculating because there was no formal report of what happened to the president. He did not complete his speech. So we'll go through. Paul, what happened next? The president did not complete his speech. He will rush off the stage. What happened next? Then he stayed inaugural. This is about inauguration. Then what happened? Then people begin to know who's going to form the president cabinet. That was another big thing of making news in the country. So what happened? Faces started popping up. Like who are those? Like people are making newspapers, news agencies are coming up with stories like giving names, like giving up cabinet names who will make the president person out of the ministerial positions. So they said the appointment Rick Maru. What does that mean to you, Paul? What was the problem?
This for the side. This was an interesting bit because there were names submitted over, and then people were called, and then lists were shown. Names were on the list that were not in alliance with the president. Executive Marshal will publish something, then found out that name will be withdrawn. So this was the confusion in the beginning. So who were making the appointment?
Yeah, I don't think, Paul, that happened also. Like if you see on the top of the newspaper, well, we look at the front page news. We want to give credit to most of our newspapers getting here. Our sources come from the Front Page Africa, the Daily Observer, the New Dawn newspaper, the New Republic, as well as the Independent newspaper and the Oracle as well, where we got our sources from. So we are using these information, the newspaper headlines, to analyze the year, to dive into 2024, because that is the story we're going to quote. We're not quoting ourselves. This is what happened. This is what we are reporting. So what happened in the appointment of Rick Monroe in Liberia? Well, the president, Paul, you said that there was some mid-name to the president office. And the president was some mid-name. Before you look, some names been extracted from the list. Names disappeared. That was what happened. And that was like, people around the person was like, I don't like you, I'll move your name. I don't care what you like. I need to get you. You need to get my confirmation before the name is on our list. Is this something common in Africa, more especially like Liberia?
No, it's not something common. This is the first time we have seen it, because if you come into power from the one, you should also, before the election, you have in mind who's going to run your government. You already have a shadow government in place, ready to kickstart the ball. But in this case, they came to power before they were submitting names. They were removing names, submitting names, removing names. Some of the names that we don't know who were making an appointment. And then later on, we got to know that a few people from the Senate that were giving the names there. You see, this is what happened. You gave names and then you remove names. So that's the whole thing that was happening. So it was that clear called thing that it came with.
Yeah, but then but this thing here, they say Barker back on stage again, because that says, what does that mean? Like, he was a vice president for 12 years. Now you see he's well dressed, smartly dressed. He's back on the stage to sit in the driver's seat. This is why they say Barker is back on stage. Barker is on stage again. That means this is from New Republic newspaper. This man, he was addressing the state that day. So he want to tell us what we expect of him. And Paul, we'll go to the agenda, because he did not complete his inaugural speech. We expected to make, some to lay out some things that people like will be expecting. Because he did not complete that, we expected that from his government to come over what they're going to do in the next first 1 year, the first term of office, 6 years. So we did not see that, and people begin to wonder and I think there was a lot of confusion around. And we most spoke about on this platform that things were not going well. We're not getting a clear message the person was bringing, and there's something was running. I think would tell us part of the program. The Unity Party led government came with an agenda. I think it will tell us what the agenda was and when the agenda came to power. We did not hear it from the inaugural speech. We did not hear it in February, but I think here later in the year. But you will tell us more about that. But let's go. What was next after this, Paul? So, we will hit with the news of if you see in the picture right here, we are frustrated. This is the South Joseph. This is South Joseph. That's one of the senators from Mosrai County, one of the counties in Liberia. And that's where Monrovia is the capital. One of the senators' house got a fire. And this is why frustrated. We all got working with the news. Like, the senator's house was on fire. It was a big news in Liberia. But anyway, they told us there was no formal report. We heard that it was electrical fault.
Yeah, there was the first big fire that we had in a year. It started from St. Joseph. I mean, big fire. There were other small petty fire, but they were the first big person that got hit with the fire. And from this incident, this guy was crying, but the fire truck could not come to save his resident. But it just showed, it was a warning that this could happen, that you were in a house talking about it. There was the first big fire. So that's St. Joseph. Yeah.
That could tell you that nobody was free. It was a potential threat to anybody, and I think, Paul, this should have given a warning to say, you say when your neighbor's house is on fire, you should get ready for your nest. How do you extinguish yours when fire is coming close? But there was nothing. Yeah. Okay. What happened? Was there something like nest, Paul? Was this?
This was the interesting one. If you remember the story of the military wives, this was the thing that the army women took over. If you see this guy, Mr. Johnson, on the page, he was the former chief of staff of the Armed Forces of the Republic of Liberia, and at some point, because he was removed, and then the government offered him to be Minister of Defense, and then the military wives went on a rampage to get him out, that they didn't want him in that position. So this paper carried, there was the issue with this General Johnson, if people can recall, that women decided military would block towns.
What was the position before he was appointed defense minister when the military wife was against him?
Yeah, I said he was the chief of staff of Liberia, and then he was removed from the position and he was nominated to be the defense minister. defense minister, and the military wives didn't like the
But
nominee.
what was that reason? For some reason, to present because President Barker met with the military wives. What did you know of reasons of why they didn't want him? The military wives would go against. I think I would look at the military themselves instead of the military wives. Why the wives would go against the chief of staff instead of the military themselves?
So the story it was the military wives. So the military men themselves decided not to come forefront of this, so they sent their ladies. And the accusation was their living condition, education, health, and all things, and they were not getting the kind of benefit that they needed to get. So they thought he did poorly, so they didn't want him in the defense to be a defense minister. So that was the thing they made, and the president said he was going to address their issue. So the women, that was the very first major protest that happened in the country when these women won a rampage.
Right,
so
okay. Okay, that's fine. What's next step for in that month? Now we can see now somebody is trying to board a plane here. There's a vice president, that's Jeremiah Cohn, boarding a plane, but there's a choice on parked car. This is a slang. If you're not from Liberia, you don't know what it means. Please explain this to us. What does this mean for on parked car?
So the parked car situation came from the president, the current president now. When he was vice president during his campaign, he said that the former president Ellen Johnson said he parked him in a garage that he could not move, he could not deliver. So he was not in a driving seat, but he classified as parked car. But if he was given the opportunity, he was going to do better. So the current vice president, Jeremiah Cohn, who you see boarding the airplane, which they all campaigned against, that former president George Weah was flying all over the place with private jet. So Jeremiah Cohn now, the Unity Party decided, said, no, it was a good thing that the former president was doing, although we all criticized it. So he now started the private jet too, and said his friend, very important friend, sent a private jet for him. But when he was in the house as lawmaker, he was not vice president, people could not send private jet. So this is the situation now, that they embrace what George Weah was doing. So Jeremiah Cohn started it too. I'm not laying back. I enjoy the privilege. I have friends I can send private jet, whether it's on the expense of Liberia, whether it's going to give them reward and contract, we don't know. But then the private jetting started under this government, initiated by Jeremiah Cohn.
Right, okay. Now, I think come it was in that same month, which was in February, early February, after the inauguration of president, the issue of a 3 million loan controversy started, which was the central bank CBL, with the central bank like we're out of the law. The government of President Bwaka is saying that the government, the Aloysius, which is the former central bank governor, will give out loan of a 3 million without the consent of the government. And that may have led to his suspension, because I think his position is a tenure position. For up to the president, but up to present, the central bank governor is suspended. Case on investigation. He was sent to LACC to be investigated or audited. What is the story of him? Because the story says that he gave up $83 million loans out. So, do you know what do we know of the present situation of the former central bank?
Well, the thing, the investigation is still on because they have somebody in a position who is acting, because it was a tenure position that they couldn't have removed him. So, as the case is still under investigation, when he found guilty, then we know the truth. But we yet to find out what was the verdict from that investigation. Although somebody is sitting in the role at the moment, and that person been in that role for over 6 months now.
Right. Okay. I think we wait to hear the result of that investigation. So, and like one thing, Paul, before we move forward, Liberia is very good known of penny investigation. They no final result. Report will come in at the end of the day. You just sweep under the carpet, and a lot of things going on. Since 1 year now, and the new leadership, unity-led government is in there. I don't know if you know of any conclusive report, comprehensive and concluded so far from the past for this government. Do you know of any so far?
Jamal, we live in a information age these days, right? And if reports have come out, they usually publish on maybe the executive mansion website, because which it seems to be more useful now for information what they have done.
Right.
We haven't seen anything there. So this particular government, they have a tendency of saying that will investigate, and we cannot get result of that investigation, will just go quietly. So for 1 year now, we know that a lot of things that are under investigation have not been brought to the spotlight. So we don't know.
Right. Okay. Paul, we'll take a short break and come back and continue with this. We'll just join you. Want you to share the show. And this is my name is Jamal Kamara. I'm being joined tonight my colleague Paul Delorchio, based in London. We are coming from you live from Europe, Milan, Europe. This is Border Liberia Live. Our discussion. We'll be looking at the year in review. What happened in Liberia? What shaped Liberia events? The event that shaped Liberia in 2024. The event, the political issues, and other things. So don't go away. We'll take a short break and we'll come back. We'll continue over our year in review.
You're watching the review of Liberian newspapers' headlines that made news during the week on the Bottom Line Liberia. Please join us every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Liberian time, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 Central European time.
This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube, and online radio. This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube, and online radio.
Yeah, well, once again, welcome again to the Bottom Line Liberia. We're looking, Johnny, if you just joined us, this is the year in review 2024 from the Bottom Line Live discussion. Tonight with me is my colleague, Paul Delorchio in London. Paul, what do we have? My name is Jamal Kamara, coming to you live from the city of Manchester, United Kingdom. We're giving you the events that shift, news that shift Liberia's destiny, shift Liberia in the year 2024. Paul, what would you have next? Now, this is the story, Paul. If you just, we're looking at the front page. We want to see a big thank you to all the news, especially to sources like Front Page Africa, the New Down newspaper, the Oracle, the New Republic, the Independent, the Analyst, all the major newspapers in Liberia, because these are our sources. Now, what happened this was in February 22nd in 2024. The issue of what Paul we see here was the legal precedence that threatens a JMB tenure appointment. If you see on the page right now, we see 5 good commissioners. These come from the LTA, the Liberian Telecommunication. Well, what was the story about? Tell a little bit. What did you know?
Well, this story was a very interesting story because the LTA have their managing director, all people on the tenure position, and a tenure job cannot be tampered with. And usually, when this happened, LTA bosses the president and his team to the Supreme Court, and they told that they were violating the tenure laws. But then later on, those people were pressured to resign, and now the president, they set his team over there temporarily. They were the first tenure position that were people were removed by force, by fire. In the Christian denomination, they'll say by force, by fire. So they forced them out, and they have these people there today. People in.
Paul, the story the government is holding up to say that they are holding these commissioners for some other financial improprieties, and they will be investigating them. They asked to resign while they investigate them. That's the side of the government. Up to now, do you know of any report so far of the investigation? Some were asked to resign, some did not resign, some were given some composition to step aside, some did, but others did not do. So what do we know of at the moment concerning these commissioners?
The case still under investigation. They have people there who acted. So that's it. They were forced to resign. They put them out. So the government came with allegation on them. They yet to be prosecuted for the allegation. They yet to go to court to accuse themselves. So out called fire by fire. They just use force to get them out.
Right. Okay. Just a little bit of background information where you just joining what the picture on the screen on the newspaper Front Page Africa. We got 5 commissioners. We got a commission of an autonomous agency like called LTA, the Liberian Telecommunication Authority. These commissioners are appointed by the president, but they are appointed. They call it tenure positions. They have to complete their year terms. In 5 years, you have to complete. Nobody's allowed to dismiss them until the term is over. That this act was created by the House of Legislature. So when the president came to power, and when he got into power, he asked these guys to step aside. New commissioners were appointed. These commissioners rejected. They did not want to leave because their tenures have not completed, have not ended. So therefore, they were refused to leave. And there were a lot of issues here. So there's a legal precedence threatens JMB tenure appointments. So JMB, the president, which is called Joseph and Boakai, which are president of Liberia, appointed new commissioners, replacing those ones that were there, and their tenure positions were not completed. I think they should serve for 5 years, right, Paul? And they were just 2 or 3 years into their tenure positions, and they refused. Most of them were forced to leave. And some kind of compromised their job and get some money, according to the story that they left. But what's the next one is in the year 2024? To audit, not to audit. This has to still do with the if you see in the picture is the house of this has to do with the Central Bank of Liberia president, governor that was still on because there's another tenure position. Central governor position is a tenure position in Liberia as well. The president has no right to dismiss his president except this issue of legal concern of like fraud or investigation. He can be asked to be suspended while investigation continue. But now he's being replaced, and a lot of tenure positions were tampered with. What happened? What is this? This is Supreme Court. What was the Supreme Court? What were the activists? What are the politicians? What are they talking about? These tenure positions were being messed with. But what happened, Paul? Now nobody talk about it.
So, Jamal, the reason why people have not spoken on it, Liberia is a banana republic. Supreme Court ruling on this was the government was doing things illegal, but then the government came back with another tactic to get these people out, and they came were auditing these guys for being corrupt. So after they got they suspended him from his post, and guess who what? They have alleged that the person that was sent there is family member of the president. So now, if this happened, and since then we haven't had the audit report on this guy, whether he's guilty of his crime he committed, we don't know. The investigation is still going on, but somebody is in his role at the moment. So I don't know what it is that one called Liberia Republic. A banana republic. Because normal country things but now how long does it take to have an audit report on one entity, especially a particular person that has been accused?
Right. Okay, we want to say welcome to all those who join us, wherever you join us from, Liberia, Africa, Europe, Asia. Also, welcome to the Bottom Library. Make this place your place, and we're going to make 2025 a present and good year. We wish you stay with us until the end of 2025. But now we are summarizing what happened in 2024. So we're using most of the Liberian major newspaper headlines to tell you what happened. So if you also have a chance to comment, if you have issues you want to tell us, you know something about that particular incident, please drop us a comment. We will make sure we try our best to read it out to you. And we want to welcome those who've been with us throughout from the start of this panel discussion we started since 2021. I want to say a big thank you for being supportive, and we always want to count on you to tell us what you think. What can we do to improve this particular platform? Paul, what happened in that year also? Let us know. Tell us, what is it? Now, Paul, what is this? Tell our audience, those who follow, what is the story? Why Molu? Who is Molu and why he resigned, Paul? All
right, this one, Moba Molu is the former CDC party chairman.
What is CDC? They tell people that are not from Liberia, they want to know what is CDC, what is Mobile Molu. Just be a little bit explicit, Paul.
Congress for Democratic Change.
It's a political party, and it's a George Weah party.
Party that is been their standard bearer is the former president of Liberia, that George Manuel Weah. His party, and this Mohamed Bolu and the party at some point they were not getting along. He had to resign, and started something else, which advocate group that he called that he's going to be advocating for the rights of Liberians. So then Molu finally decided, after many years with the CDC, he called it because according to the story, he was not getting along with the standard bearer of the party. They had their own beef going. So eventually, after the election, usually when you the party chairman, you take the party to election, the party does win election. the how they call it, the party chairman resigned and gave way for somebody else to take that baton to take them to the next election. So yeah,
Right.
he resigned. That's the story.
Yeah, the story here, what makes it important? Someone asked why the story is important because CDC, the Center for Democratic Change, which is the party of the President George Weah, former president of Liberia, it's one of the most powerful oppositions in the country. So if that party chairman, party chairman is mobile model on the picture right here, you resign his position. That made news because he's a very powerful person. And when he's a political party chairman, you are a very influential person. And that was the story of that year. And he left the party saying that he don't think he can contribute to CDC, which is the Center for Democratic Change. He left the former George Weah party and he wanted to be on his own. I don't know what his intentions are, but probably he may be eyeing the seat for 2029. But let's see what happens in 2029. Paul, what comes next?
Yeah, welcome. This is another interesting story. Yeah,
okay, that's a protest. Yeah, protest turned bloody in King George. Tell our people that are following on right now. What is King George? What is the blood-tested story about?
Right. So this region in Liberia called Cape Mount County. There's a place there is called King George where the people do a lot of mining, and this story is about the people in the place were being treated badly by this company that is there. They call it B Mountain. That is so they were protesting against this company for a lot of things that have been promised, it haven't been delivered. So now the police were called in and they did live bullet, they shot loud bullet, and people got killed. I think according to the story, 3 persons died. So there was a story. That's why it became a bloody protest. There was a protest. There was the very first protest that somebody had to die under the current government.
Do we have any reports so far since that protest happened? Because government said they promised the Liberians that they're going to give a comprehensive report of this, what happened, because people accuse the government, the security, the police for shooting live bullets. Do you know of any report, comprehensive final report on this shooting so far, or this incident in Jokipa?
I think they reposted the investigation is still on because we have not had any final. Usually the government will say there's a final verdict on it, but you cannot find it. So
okay.
I'm concerned, I don't think there's any comprehensive report has come up with the incident that happened over there.
Right. Okay. Let's see what comes next in our year, Paul. We stay in 1 month in. We stay in the month of this is a month of March. Then 3 months into the year, the government, the United Party the government has been faced with protests. So that was strange. But anyway, that's Liberia when they are any Africans. Anything happening, they are not happy. They'll get onto the street and show vent their anger. So it was a little bit bloody. So Paul, what came next?
Well, that's my PC is frozen. Give me one.
Okay, I'll take you from there. No worries. So I came back that month, that year. One big thing that the president mentioned in his speech, ending impunity. Liberia, tell the people that are watching right now, that are following on the radio as well on the show, what was the big thing that Liberia were waiting for? Most Liberians, 60 to 70% Liberians waiting for, and was coming to light. And on this front page, this is front page, May 3rd edition, says ending impunity. What does they mean, Paul?
Oh, this is the one that will talk about the war crime and economic code in Liberia. Right. When the president in his campaign that he was going to bring war and economic crime code. So the signing of this thing was the end of impunity. That we were all excited about that war crime code will finally come to Liberia. So that was the moment and that was the time. So you can see him putting pen and paper to this thing. And he did commission a group that to spare the affair of the war crime code, that people were excited about that. Finally, will have the perpetrator of the war they will face justice at some point and all that. So people were excited. This is the moment when it's here when he was signing.
Right. Or if you just joining us right now, we also want to remind you this is the end of the year review, our review of the 2024, the bottom line discussion. My name is Jamal Kamara. Paul the Lord Children is with me tonight to discuss what happened, the what shift events like shift Liberia in 2024. We are using various newspapers in Liberia as our major sources. The Front Page Africa, according to the Front Page Africa, the Daily Observer, the New Independent, the New Republic, the New Dawn newspaper, the Analyst, all the major newspapers, as well as the Oracle. We are using these newspapers as our sources for what happened, what transpired, what shaped Liberia in 2024. And we want to let you know that any impunity in Liberia was a big thing in Liberia because this is what happened. The 14 years of war in Liberia, there's a kind of split of, in terms of a school of thought. People thought that, well, the people should be punished for what happened so they will not be repeated. And people said it should be a war crime court in Liberia. But then we had something called the TRC, and that was there. But after TRC recommended some people should be persecuted or should be investigated, and that did not happen. So past governments promised that they were bringing back the war crime code. I think the economic got added to it lately. But the war crime code was promised from the early Johnsons to George Weah that Liberians who deserve justice will be given justice. Justice will be, will bring justice to those who deliberately, murder or did some act that was not should not be acceptable. So now, President Boyka, this time, if you see sitting now signing this document, bringing the war and economic to Liberia to end impunity in Liberia. Sorry. So, Paul, what happened next? Now, so bringing the court on the Liberian soil, then did you see, Paul, happening immediately when that happened? What happened around the world?
Well, the thing is, when that announcement was made and the signing ceremony took place, immediately the U.S. sent their delegates to Liberia and they met with key players in Liberia. They met with the Speaker of the House of Representatives at the time, because now we get two speakers in Liberia. So we J. Donati Kofa and his team in the House to enforce it, to come up with a bill that this thing could pass through. So if you see the white lady over there, they call Van Sha. She's the secretary for, I think, how they call some transparency in America, and they did these things in around the world. So she was in Liberia twice to encourage them that the funding was going to come from the U.S. and they wanted this thing to come to bear, that people should face justice for what the crime they committed. Yes, still, so this is the story. And people were excited with all these things were happening in the first, I would say, the first 4 months of the Unity Party-led government.
Paul, you're one of those panelists that was saying that you don't think the war crime code is going to happen, because you said, even at some point, you said, you have your Jack Daniels sitting there. If the President Balkan allow this to happen, you'll be there celebrating, you open your Jack Daniels and celebrate on this. But up to President, you open your Jack Daniels. Yeah,
because the thing is, I still have doubt. And the reason why I have doubt about the war crime code, because we were told, we get a video that the president met with Aden Hoy, who one of the persons that were champion the war crime code in Liberia. And the discussion they had, that they have all documentation that they have prepared and was submitted on the president's desk. He only needed to sign. But the reason why I'm saying I still have that, because the president had different version of document he needed to sign, but he then decided to commission another group to now start the preparation. So, and as we get the order, those that committed a crime, they are falling one by one. So I said, look, we may not have what we want, because it's not a layman that fall. It's the big fish that they war crime code are going to face, but all of them fading away. And setting a commission that will do something new to investigate, that's time wasting. We may not have it under this government. So the next government could come and say, you know what? The people are all gone. So do we need to go? So my belief is not going to happen. It's just a charade for Liberians that, yes, the president signed document for war crime code.
But Paul, this happened somewhere around the third month in the year. That was in March. All these stories, when the president came out in February, in his speech, he talked about the war crime code, impunity, impunity going, there'll be no impunity for, those people that commit these crimes. Now he signed the document and the people were happy everywhere. There was a high hope that justice is going to be, delivered. But now, We stay in March, things start happening. We are now at the end of the year. So, what is your information so far regarding these WACC, the War Crime Code, WCC or War on Economic Crime Code, WECC?
Well, the thing is, the president did have this new commission put in place, and they have the members on there. The guys, they accepted him to take on the role. So now he need to come up with a funding and how he intends to run this institution, because he's supposed to report directly to the chief, not the chief justice, but the justice minister and the president. So maybe in the coming year, they will have come with their framework of how they want to institute this new group that were commissioned. So we yet to see and wait to see what they're going to come up with. So it's still in a balance.
Are you still doubtful? Because you still said to me right now you're doubtful. Are you still doubtful that the person will implement this?
I'm doubtful, because the thing with the Liberian situation here, the people who requesting this war crime code, they are all part of the game, and some of them may also go to court. So it's all delayed tactics, in my opinion, that
Right.
they try to cool Liberian temper. So this commission could drag their feet until the next 5 years before they come up with the framework of how the war crime code to be established. So
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So while we want to say a big thank you to all who joined, we want to say a special thank you to Abraham S. Mantia Jr. for joining us. And wherever you join us, so we want to also show you subscribe to this platform. Whenever it comes on, we will also alert you. You will also know what we're doing. Anytime we plan to come on, you follow us as well. Be part of the show, be part of the Bottom Line Liberia. We are discussing what happened in 2024 on this show tonight. That's the end of our show for 2024, and this is the last edition for 2024. So what we're doing right now, we are reviewing what happened in 2024, and we are using Liberian major newspapers as our sources to highlight events that shape Liberia in 2024. For Paul, what happened in March? Because we stay in March, the third month of the year. What happened again in March? In March, what happened? Who misled JMB and where? With regard to the funding, this happened to do with I think it had to do with the money that they left in the coffers, what do you call it, account? The central bank account. That's an interesting story. For what happened?
Look, this was one of the funniest story. The president gave his
annual address. I just was the inaugural speech. It was a part of the. No, it was the SONA. I think SONA. The sort of the nation address.
Yeah, the SONA, and the SONA, he said that we are saying he left over 46 million in a account, and the president said, "No, that money was not accurate. You left 20 million there." So this is where it went back and forth with them to find out that who misleading who. We are saying he left money. GMB said no, it was not true. So that became the story. So the central bank had to come in and confirm that yes, that amount was left. Then the next thing, they were audit on the central bank. So the central bank the commission of the central bank too had to be silent. So this was the story. Who misleading who? We are all
Yeah. Paul, you were just talking about the I'll go back to your story. Just caught my eye right now on the same newspaper front page. On the top, say the willing ex-warlords. You will see that the late Prince Johnson. We'll talk about it. Yes, definitely. Couple of in the moment for now, but we look at it on the other side of the story. We also got Thomas Yaya on the other side. Thomas Yaya was the head of the the movement, some kind of group from came to fight from around there. I don't know, one of the warlords, and you also see Johnson. What were their concern here when the war was coming up? What was the problem for them? What do you think was the issue?
That one you see over there, they were bitterly against the pronouncement of the war crime code into Liberia. And I think Thomas Yaya particularly, he was vocal this time that why the people don't want to do something better than want to bring war crime code. And so, the late Prince Johnson too, the war crime code was something that he hated to hear say war crime code. So that's why they were bitterly against it.
Oh, can you still remind our audience, our listeners, who was Thomas Yaya? What group did he lead?
I don't know which group he was part of, but he was one of the rebel faction. I think it might be
Model, was it Model? I think that's Model.
It could be one of those fashion.
Yeah, it was Model. It was Model. It was Model. He was part of the Model group. Because we had Sekou Damati was the Lloyd group, and he was Model, the group that came from around Ivory Coast that was heavily supported by
right. So that's the George Bode, the George Bode group.
No, George Bode LCC, Liberian Council. That's a different group. So anyway, that's a little bit of the two warlords, the willing ex-warlords. They're willing here. They're crying that why did you bring the war crime to Liberia when in fact this should not, it will not go well for Liberia. That's what I'm concerned. On this front page. That's why the newspaper said the willing ex-warlords. So, Paul, what happened in the same month? Is it something happened in March again that year?
Yeah.
Oh, about 400 job loss. What was that? There was, I think, somewhere around March 14. You can see people carrying wounded victims in armed bloody. People are injured. Some are carrying against the armed police standing. So, what is the story here, Paul? I think this happened. There's a Beer Mountain. Man, yeah, this happened in Beer Mountain. What was the story?
There was a story about people. I think I have to boil down if I'm getting it right because I'm trying to recollect now.
Yeah, I think it was a living condition, job loss, and stuff like that. The staff went on protests, and the police went to disperse the protesters or something like. There was some serious injuries happening. I think live bullets was shot as well. And the police
so you know this story is actually linked to the story that we spoke about first.
King George,
it was ongoing thing in Cape Mount, and it was continual thing that it even came down to Monrovia when it went to the Capitol building to protest on their. So this is ongoing, and we know that this story is still under investigation. What happened? We yet to get the details of this story. That's what happened. So
Paul, Paul, I want to stop you there and talk about, one thing we started this year for the past 2-3 years now. We've been playing this guy called the song we all play called the Borderline Discussion Live national anthem, which we play at the start of the show, like our intro. It kind of capitulates everything about what African leadership is all about. Before they come into power, they give you all the promises, the political promises, campaign promises, and at some point, they start fumbling. They start making no mistakes. Investigation, you don't see any conclusive report, and people be promised nothing happened, and why this continue? I mean, this is why. So if you play that video, it's like if you listen to this guy, on the music we just play, the song we play at the start of the show, probably at the middle of the show we'll play it and tell you why we keep playing these songs. They particularly became the signal tune it's a signature tune for the borderline Liberia, and we keep playing this because most of our leadership that come to power, we also have the present leadership, they seem not to be honest to the people that put them to power. They'll give them all the sweet talks, could shoot up with their talks, and at the end of the day, they fall back to their old attitude. These corruptions and these mismanagement is something is disheartening. It's very, very disheartening. So what happened was in Beer Mountain, it's a mountain. Just to give you another recap, it's in one of the counties in Liberia where we have a mining company that is called Beer Mountain that is doing some work. I think they're doing something like is there something that do a gold mining? One of the mining doing that place. There was hundreds or 400 job loss, and the staff went on to protest, and the police were involved, and it resulted into some injuries and so forth. So if you see on the screen, injured people being carried on armed carry for support for medical aid, and not only that, you see the machinery being put on fire by the staff. It was really a very tense moment at the time. So, Paul, what happened in March, or what will it wrap up March 2024? Let's see what we got. Oh wow! This is happening. This is somewhere around February, Paul. I think what happened here. This is, if you see it, this is the Speaker of the House, President Kofa. When he got elected as a Speaker. But what is this is a very unique, it's iconic picture. Tell me what you see in the picture. The Speaker said, President Kofa, he reflected, he said he wanted to audit the House of Representatives. This is what he said that day. This is a powerful speech. People are happy. But these guys are corrupt. We wanted to be audited. What do you think this is the beginning of his end? Didn't you think so? This was the beginning of the end of President Kofa.
This is the beginning of what we're going to end up with in 2024. This was the beginning of the process of the situation of removal of Fanatic Kofa. This was the beginning when he decided to take on bold steps that, well, guys, we've been corrupt. So to move the country forward, we need to order this horse. Maybe it will help us to stop being corrupt. And it didn't go down well with many of the guys in the place there. So this thing, people that he have given position, because it's all about being on committees and all that. Some of them were not happy with committees they were on. And we have just come in a horse to steal from the people. And how come now you want to audit to close all the loophole? So we're not happy with you, Fanatic. We're going to get you out. This is what the beginning of Fanatic.
Yeah, Paul. I think he was not smart. Fanatic, for me, he didn't have the good advices, because for me, I think, Paul, what Fanatic should have done was to wait. If you want to go after them, Fanatic was I'm sorry, God forgive me. The president, former president Ellen Justice Salif, made Fanatic Kofa to investigate. He was head of the committee that investigated Rakib Mouse Senator Vani Sherman on the issue of corruption and fraud. And he became the speaker. And immediately when he took office, he said he wanted to go and investigate. He wanted to audit the house. That was so early for as a politician. We should have waited. But the house you were part of before, the house you should have waited to be well grounded before you talk about auditing the house. I think this was a smart move, and this was the start of his end. I think this is where he blundered. He just blundered right here. They say he wants to audit the house, and because they are in the house, they are vampires, powerful vampires. You cannot mess with those guys. This is the start of his airport. But this is what started with it. I think people miss this part. I think we want to highlight this part. When he said that he wanted to audit the House of Representatives, and this is house he was part of. I think he was a member of the House as the House of Representatives. I think he was re-elected, right? Fanatic was, Paul, are you there with me?
Yeah, I'm here with you.
Yeah, Fanatic Kofa was re-elected. He was part of this house, and he knew there was corruption in his house, and he came out. He wanted to why he wanted to appease the people that he wanted to audit them? He should have waited for after a year or two before we talk about after well-grounded and got more supporters in the house. We're talking about he want to audit the house, but this is not a smart move for him. And I think this is the beginning. That was the beginning of his. This statement was the beginning of his end.
Yeah, Jamal, you're right, because what happened? This guy was deputy speaker in the 54 legislature. He was the deputy speaker. So when he became speaker now, he wanted to do something that I agree with. He was not smart enough. He had this plan. He should have just kept it quiet, get everybody in a good book. Now come and say, now it's time, you guys, because let us all do our, how they call it, the legislature have this break, their constituent break, where they all get 30,000. Let them take the money, they go enjoy that. Said then when they come back now, he said there will be reform. But he didn't play clever. He decided, look, I want to show you that going forward now for your newcomers, you're not going to get down from what we've been doing here. We're going to stop the loopholes. So they turned against it. That was the beginning.
Well, I don't think, you're right.
I want to steal. Then you tell me now you coming audit people for me now to steal. This is what happened. So
yeah. Paul, one thing I also noticed, like if you follow what happened in the Parliament, the House of Representatives, Liberia. If you just don't know, we say I want to remind you, this is the bottom line Liberia. This is the review of 2024. If you look at what's going on right now, on the screen is the speaker, J. Fanatic Kofa, who has been kind of technically removed as Speaker of the House. In February, he came up when he became Speaker of the House after serving as a deputy speaker for one full term on a 6-year on the George Weah, and when he said he wanted to audit the House of Representatives, that was not a good statement. Paul, but the one thing I want to remind you, if you follow what happened in the Parliament in Liberia, in the House of Representatives Liberia, Ellen, one of the smartest Liberian presidents, and she removed two speakers with no cares. Do you know that she removed Edwin Snow, and also Alex Tyler.
Yeah, she did. She did. She removed two speakers, but Eddie was smart in her the way she did it. When she said, "I don't want you," she had a way to lobby. The word they use, lobby. It's a big English word, but that lobby means to bribe people. She had a way that she could bribe the legislature to get her will done.
Yeah, but the question I'm asking, forget about the bribery. I don't want to worry about it. They think she did a smart job because what is happening at if you notice, like, there was, before Fanatic got the job as a speaker, there was a controversy. There was a controversy, and when they have to talk, they visited the president. They said they wanted Richard Nangwe Kun to be the speaker, and that was the choice of the Unity Party. But then Fanatic was deputy speaker. They helped him to get in there, and then there was. You could see from the start that this guy, you were not liked by the executive branch. And then at the start, you say you want to investigate or you want to audit your staff. That was selling yourself. Giving a gallop rope to hang yourself. This guy hung himself from the start, Paul. So, okay, I want you to take to the president. He was not, why you wait? This is glaring that you see the president is not even playing. We'll go to the point where the House of Executive is not playing active role to make a quiet game to get this guy out. It's up to the president. We don't know. We got two speakers, one house, and one deputy speakers. So this is the situation we are now. So if you see Fanatic right here, if you just joined us, Fanatic is here. He made a statement in February this year that he wanted to audit the house, and that was the beginning of his end. And from that day, what happened next, Paul? What was the next sign that this is they were after this guy? The lawyers fear audit. What happened? They told on sitting. Then there was like a lot of rumors were going on. I think the house was on fire. Technically on fire. But people did not see this. People didn't see this. Why he did not see that? What did he have the advisors to tell him?
No, the thing is, he thought he was on the right path, Jamal. When you're on the right path, that because the thing is, this guy was pushing his agenda now, trying to, assert his authority in the house. This is me because I want to perform well. That after my 6 years here, Liberians will see me as this guy that can liberate the country. I brought audit in the house. We audited ourselves. So this was a good master plan that this guy had. But he didn't see it that way. He said, look. Yeah,
but it was too early, Paul. It was early to release the master plan. Sure, I waited after he well granted before we talk about master. He didn't have full support of the house. His coming to power was even a controversial one. Then he didn't wait. At the start of his journey, he just tell people, you know what? I will crucify one of you. I will go after each and every one of you. It's okay. You want to come after? We will come after you. Another sign that showed to him, he did not see. Show what happened next. Something happened. He did not pick it up. What happened next? This is what happened. His house got on fire. That was in April. Let's put this together. This guy house got colossal damage. He said one early morning, he was in his house in the lobby in the sitting room with his wife or his family. You could see that there's a fire everywhere in the house. This is the house of the speaker. You could just put it together, Paul. From the time you mentioned about the house will be investigated or audited, they came down with there was a lot of plot over there to get him off. Before you look in the same April, we talk about February, March. Now we're talking about April. It's just all together. The guy house got a fire.
Yes.
Then he was rescued to. I think he went to somebody's house. I think the president or somebody's house. They escorted him there with. I think he went in pajamas with a family he was rescued out of the building. But they didn't see the sign. They didn't see the sign to reconcile. I think he was kind of. I don't know who was advising Paul. But anyway, what happened next?
So what happened next, Jamal? They said when bad law follow you, rotten banana can break your teeth. He didn't see the sun coming. This the bad law the sun was just coming to him. That the big one is coming for you. And then next, this is the war crime thing. We'll come back to this story. You know when the president announced that war crime was going to come to Liberia.
Right.
This people went to Liberia, and when they set up this new commission she went back again to Liberia. So there's continuation of this story.
Right.
This
Okay. Yeah.
This is the continuation. So
people are visiting. Yeah, right. You're right, Paul. People are visiting Liberia from all angles to show that this war crime code is established. They will get funding, and the Liberians were like, "What show of it?" And you were all the conversations here. It's part of conversation across every quarters in Liberia, across the continent as well. But people are visiting Liberia. They say, we'll give you the money. Make sure you put the war crime code together. Even if you can't do it in your country, we can take the Gambia and other country. You can have a war crime code there. So if you see on the screen, that's the front page Africa. That's what edition is this? This is 22nd of I think March. People were visiting. We couldn't get all the pictures. Diplomats, international activists, human rights groups were visiting Liberia to make sure the war crime code is established. So what happened again? Let's go back to the 2024. We stay in somewhere in March. We need to go to see what happened. We're taking you through this journey through 2024. If you just joined, coming for you for the Bottom Liberia discussion. Paul, what happened in 2024 again? Let's all know. Oh yeah. Oh, who is embarrassing the president, Paul? Who was embarrassing the president, Paul? What does it mean? What the newspaper means by it?
That's a good question. You might take us through all this one. Who are embarrassing the president?
You know what happened, Paul? The thing was happening with this story here. Who is embarrassing the president? This story here. Go on, Paul. Go on.
If I can recollect, it's about the list that when the president submit names. Is that the one?
Yes.
When the president.
Paul, don't forget, there's a story where you're talking about Barkas who want Kofa out. You see what happened? The story was saying so sign was still coming up in this paper. This is still the front page will come out. This is a mass edition of front page. And then you will see that there was news coming out that we'll go back. That's who's embarrassing the president. Paul, tell us. There was a list the president appointees were sent out. Yeah. What happened? There was for confirmation, for confirmation, and something what happened to the list.
So this story is interesting because whenever the president submit names for how they call it, confirmation, the names that he submit, that names will be removed and people will put their own names there, and people will call the president and say, but I thought you nominated me. And the president said, yes, but I want for confirmation my name not on the list. So this is the question. So who was in charge?
My God. Yeah. But the president has some powerful people around him, that we're talking about the vampires. So this is what Kofa did not see. And he was like, go back to Kofa's stories. Fanatic Kofa, they were JFK, coming on JFK. He did not see that somebody was after his neck. He did not see that they wanted to get him out. He got the job on the controversial line. And this guy wanted to say he wanted to audit the house. You were in the house for 6 years. He did not talk about auditing. When he got there, he wanted to flex muscle. And then you got some vampires that are more powerful than you do. They'll come after you. Of course, they will come after you. Then you tell me it was a political, it's not anything to do with judiciary. But you see, the newspaper starts telling us of some Boyka wants, that's the President Boyka wants Jonathan Kofa out. Who is Jonathan Kofa, the speaker? And he got him out. Technically, he's out. Anyway, so let's go, Paul. What happened? In the same year, what happened? Oh, justice lapse. Something's not right here. So this is a sad story for Liberia. What happened here? There's a young lady in the picture with a young man standing here. Tell the audience that following us that did not follow the story. Yeah, what's the story like? Tell us, what's the story for?
This story is about a beautiful Liberian girl, young girl in her 20s who got married to this American so-called how they call them?
Missionary.
Yeah, and he's called Lucas. I think Lucas, if I get it name right. He promised this young girl to marry her or engage her, did a traditional thing, and then he did at some point he wanted to do an escape, but to slaughter her. And this, if you look at the girl lying down, he slashed her throat and to her rescue. The motorcyclist saw something or going around and rescue her. And this guy went to court. What happened? Our so-called justice system we have in Liberia let the guy to go free of charge for the crime he committed. This is the story. Justice collapse.
Yeah, sad. Eh? I mean, this is our sister. You could see her throat was slit, cut almost to the end. Luckily, she did not die. Did not get to the esophagus, which is the main throat. And she was struggling to survive. A motorcyclist went to a rescue, and the person who considered alleged to be responsible, one of the propose, I mean, a husband, or you will marry this lady as a missionary. And I don't know what transpired. We don't know the detailed story, but what happened, this lady was a victim, kind of shows what happened when the court, the case was a big news in Liberia. It was in court, and eventually what we noticed that this guy was released to go to the US. Paul, what is the next story on this story? What was the paper story say? I think this is a front page story. There was another newspaper that came on on this issue. Yeah. Acquitted attempted murder, not of, but no, story came by that they were going back to bring him back. This is what story did not happen. Acquitted attempted murder, not off the hooks. Why the analyst was saying that, people felt that this guy was released and you were going to bring him back. You were going to face, he said Stan reveals Lucas Richard, that was his name, Paul, face another inquest in the US. But then they said like you're going to face another trial in the US. Well, up to person who don't know what happened in the US. I mean, the guy was acquitted. He went to US after a young Liberian lady that suffered or almost got killed through gas slits. But this is I don't know what happened. We got, for what I also understand, in the poor countries, including Liberia, when you are deep pocket, you got a lot of money. You can do anything and get away with it. I mean, this is a poor girl with it. We have seen it happening everywhere. This lady was like, tell me what this is. Sad
so
story.
this story, Jabal, there's another lady we just jumped over the same time, was Princess Cooper.
Yeah.
This beautiful princess.
That happened on a George Weah. That was in 2023.
Oh, that's okay. So this story about this guy, when you talk about people getting away when they have deep pocket in Liberia, this is what happened. This guy, I mean, he was caught red-handed because he had deep pocket. He used his influence and he got away with it free. Now, so this is something, and I just try to link it with Princess Cooper, the person who did the thing to her too, because he had deep pocket, he got away free from Liberia. So this is an old age. I remember when I was a kid, really young kids, when we heard about this thing in Liberia under the Tubble administration, that a Lebanese guy who had a store, his employee in the supermarket took a peppermint candy, and this guy choked that guy to death, and he got away free. So it's an age-old problem in Liberia that people with deep pocket commit murder and get away with it. So this poor girl, I mean, she was lucky to be alive today. If those motorcyclists didn't come to her rescue, the guy is gone. Yeah.
It's very, very sad for our people. Poverty in Liberia, poor is bad everywhere. Where you don't have the means to survive, you depend on someone else. Your rights are abused. You are abused yourself. You don't know what you do because you want a life. You want a life. Because you want a life, you want to survive as well. This is where it happened. You got abused any means necessary. So this Lucas Richards got acquitted. He went to the US, and we were told, oh well, when in the US, he got to face investigation, but up to present we don't know. Probably in the future, probably 2025, we'll know what the story look like. We may follow up, we'll see what happened. Paul, what happened in that year? We stayed in April, Paul. So what happened in April? No, this time we're in May. Shady deals. Something just broke. Liberia, it was a big news in Liberia. Shady deals. So it's like coming up about 200 some old yellow machines. That was another big news. That sparked another conversation around the corners in Liberia. What was this shady deals about, Paul?
See, I think if you can see in the background something look like excavator, or it look like
those yellow machine, quite Liberia, quite excavators, all those quite Liberia yellow machines. Those earth moving equipments were in the background. Equipment in the background, like machines that do diggers and excavators and stuff like that, and these tipper trucks, you can see them. We can see also I think that's the minister with our portfolio, that's Mama Ability, also in the background there. We're shaking hands with the president, but we don't know what they said. Like some things were happening. The government, the House of Legislature, don't know about. The members of the House don't know what that was called a shady deal. So we'll go deep into the story. Paul, let's go next.
So this story here, what happened when the president have done his travel and he came back? This yellow machine surfaced around the social media with the president photo on it that nobody knew about. And later when he was questioned, he said, oh, it's his old time friend that gave him some yellow machine because they wanted to support the arrest agenda.
Yeah. It
So
was a big news.
it was a big news that the country are going to receive
Yeah.
385 pieces of yellow machine. Each county will have at least 2 of those machines for the roads to be good. So the president friend that nobody knew of. But then to go find out, it was not president friend, but some shady D were in the background, and they came up with some huge amount that were going to take the country out of, I think, $89 million for the so-called machine they were bringing into the country.
Yeah.
And there was some noise behind it. Later on now, what happened to go find out those machines came from some guy from South Africa that was doing business with the government. But then when other people started speaking, they started going deep into it to find out that each of the machines that were costing that huge amount, it was going to be roughly about $39,000, half of that money. So these guys were the shady deals they were talking about. Cheap Chinese machine, but they wanted to milk their country. So that's the shady deal that nobody knew about. So, and the friend now that, so you see the hypocrisy in our people, Jamal. The president, he lied to the nation that his long-time friend was giving this machine to carry out the arrest agenda. And then later on, we found out that was money. In a serious country, that's impeachable offense by lying to the people. See? Because we look at when people say he actually lied to the public, say his friends, the old-time friend. So how come now Liberia is going to pay for those machines? And 30 pieces of the machine came to the country is now packed in the military barrel. So they have not paid this guy his money yet, so they cannot use the machine. So he lied to the country.
Right, thank you. If you're just following us and you're turning on now and just joining us wherever you're joining us from, we say welcome to the bottom line. My name is Jamal Kamara, coming to you live from Manchester, United Kingdom. Tonight with me is Paul, the Lord Chilpley from London, UK as well. We are going through the year 2024 with a major news for life from Liberia. This is called the Bottom Line Liberia 2024 year in review. Now, as you see on the screen, is from the front page Africa newspaper. I'll credit go to this front page Africa newspaper as well as other major news for Liberia for UCB and News Airlines for our sources. It says shady deals. That was the yellow machine big story that sparked conversation around corners in Liberia. So, Paul, what happened next in that year? CPP dissolved. Wow. But what is CPP and why was it dissolved? And why? Tell us people that don't know what CPP stands for and why was it dissolved at this time after the election? What does CPP stands for and why was it dissolved?
Right. The CPP, it was collaboration of political parties that came together called the CPP. Now, they had an agreement that they hold until the 2023 election. After the 6 months after the election, they were going to decide whether they hold together as a political party or they all go their separate ways. So after 6 months of the election, both parties decided, because there were 4 original parties of the CPP, and then later it became only 2 parties. So the 2 decided, they decided to go their separate ways. So that was the sunset in that month. So so after the election, they both went their separate ways. So that all of them, the unity in the ANC, they decided to break all their marriage. So that was it.
Right. So Paul is saying, to just confirm, saying CPP is a collaboration political party. It was a group that came together, 2 political parties came together, eventually became 2 political parties, the Liberty Party and the ANC, who is Alternative National Congress, came together as a CPP. Eventually, there were 4 political parties, but they eventually became 2 parties that came together to run on 1 ticket in 2023 elections. So after the election, they have agreed that at the end of the day, they should be able to resolve because you go separate way. That's what Paul was trying to analyze to you right here. So CPP was headed by at the time, the presidential candidate was Mr. Alexander Bendy Cummins, and the party chairman, CPP party chairman, was Musa Hassan, who's now the in the House of Representatives as a representative of Niba County, one of the counties in Liberia. So CPP dissolved. They can stay on their own now. On 2029, they can run. The Liberty Party can run on own ticket if they want to, as well as ANC. But now we're going to that. Those political parties, that's why it's called CPP dissolved. So, Paul, what happened next in 2024? Now, who is the young man, and tell who is he, what his name, why is he here, Paul?
This young man appearing on the screen here, he served in the Liberia Armed Forces, and he also worked as a UN peacekeeper in Mali.
Right. This
guy, and I may recall his name, so if you can remember his name, what happened with this guy? He came back home right after the protest of the military wives, and it was alleged that this guy shot himself 6 times in the head. And this story was supposed to be investigated. We yet to find report on how led to his murder, or how can one put a trigger to their head that the bullet will go 6 times. So we're still waiting for the information. Yeah, they say he committed suicide by shooting himself 6 times in the head. That was the story.
Right. But give a little bit, Paul. Give a little bit detail. Paul, where did you serve? And he got shot. And I think this happened in June 3rd, 2024.
Yeah.
It was. This doesn't have to do with they can't verify this, but this has to do with the military wives protest or something else. Do you know what was?
There's nothing linked with the military welfare, but from some unconfirmed information that this guy knew something.
Something like what? That you know?
He just said he knew something. Alleged that he knew something. But the question is, if he knew something, the military said he committed suicide. But the question is, they came up with things say that he shot himself 6 times in the head. So anybody who carry a gun before, if you release a trigger 1 time, it blow your head up. But this guy was able to be alive to push the trigger 6 times. So that story never add up, and they said there were going to be an investigation on this. We yet to get a report on this. His investigation, what led to his death, whether he was suffering from post-traumatic stress, we don't know. There's nothing has come out to say what actually happened that led to this young man taking his own life by shooting himself, putting himself, shot himself 6 times in the head. That was the story. So we're yet to find out what killed this guy. Whether somebody shot him or he shot himself with his left hand, right hand, we don't know. There's no report here on it.
Yeah, whatever you are, you want to welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia. Welcome to the show. We want you to drop your comment. This is the year in review 2024 from the Bottom Line Live discussion. Jamal Kamara is manning tonight discussing the major events that shaped Liberia in a major newspaper in Liberia. Is my good friend Paul the Lord Chodoply. Paul will take a quick break and come back and continue with our year in review.
You're watching the review of Liberian newspapers' headlines that made news during the week on the Bottom Line Liberia. Please join us every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Liberian time, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 Central European time.
What we want do to please you? Yeah, we get people around. They acting that they let you when you show up. I saw you turn your body and it choked off. You buy your Lego, hey, attend them. People buy you Lego, hey, attend them. If you can post your man, hey, attend them. The day you post your man, hey, attend them. If you won't ever go ever to your family, don't bring that nonsense to somebody. If you won't ever go ever to your family, don't bring that nonsense to somebody. So I said to check body. It's a long must have a like very. Oh, check body. It's a long must have a like very. Yeah, yo, yeah. Yeah, yo, yeah. Yeah, yo, yeah. Yeah, yo, yeah. You let me, I will not die. You can't say, I will not They spit for me, I'm walking off my fire. They try to throw me down, but I bounce back. I survive, I survive. They try to play that weed, but still I survive. I survive, I survive. I wouldn't have bounce on me, one for my enemy. They try to perfect my life. I tell them.
Once again, I want to say welcome back to the bottom line. I want to say welcome, congratulations to those who survived it in 2024. We started in 2025, Paul. I know, Paul, you went through a lot of tough time this 2024. Thank God. We want to say those who have been with us from the start, that's the Liberian music. I know one of the songs we always play. It kind of tells us who we are as Liberia. We stand the test of time. We want to tell people we are strong. They've been going through a lot of trials and tribulations for 2024. Over the year, we'll say, look, keep strong. 25, we're going to bring you good news, good tidings. Be a good person to yourself, keep straight, good health. Paul, I know we're going to continue on something. Let's see what next, and we'll be telling you those family. And join us and share your comments. What you think. And now, Paul, this is a big news in Liberia. We still continue. Thanks for joining us again. We'll continue with the news review. And not only this review, the year in review with the bottom line Liberia. With my good friend Paul DeLaucher. Paul, the DEA, what DEA is for and what the bosses are. Why are they at war? What is DEA? Those who don't know what DEA is, what DEA means, like Paul. I think Paul should.
This is the Drug Environmental Agency, I think. The DEA is called the DEA, Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency. That's the DEA. And this is a very interesting topic that came up. There was infighting between the director and the two deputies.
Right.
And the deputy for the operation deputy for something. And there were a local here regarding some regarding some drug issue that have arrived at the Raul International Airport. And with all this story had been around from day one, everybody want to show that they know more than who. The deputy seems to know more than the boss seems to know more than the deputy. So there was in-house fighting between them. And it went to some point that the deputy took decision to sack some of the operational persons in his brigade, and the director brought and reinstated them. So this fight went on for a long period of time. Both of them three of them were suspended by the president, and then eventually, after a long 6 or 3 months, quietly that they were going to investigate their fight, at some point they became very physical at times. The president got upset and decided to suspend them. While they were on a suspension, other people were appointed to the post. So that's the end of this story. So they were all dismissed by the president.
All right.
That's the story.
All right, then. That's now. Right. One good thing, Paul, just said on the show that Liberia don't come up with a report. I've now, since I know myself, if you have any comprehensive or inclusive or conclusive a report from these government report, those things that happen, those incidents, whatever. I've not had any conclusive report so far. If any, probably you're sitting watching us right now, you're following on your show, tell us if we have any conclusive report from government in case of these kind of incidents. Like, it's not funny, it's serious, We also we're going to investigate. The auditors died, they will investigate. The $16 billion Liberian got missing, we investigate. Everything we're going to investigate would not have any result of, comprehensive report that conclude this investigation. I think the only investigation I know so far, TRC was the investigation, and they submitted that people should be prosecuted and bring to court and let them hear the side of the story. I think the only one I've seen, the TRC report, that's the only final thing I've seen so far out of Liberia. But any other thing, Paul, it has to do with the government. We have I've not seen any. Probably I may be wrong. I stand to be corrected. If you know of any, please let us know. What happened next?
Jamal, this is funny. I remember when case when Doe took over.
Yeah. When
they asked Samuel Doe question, because he was very naive to the presidency, you said no comment.
No comment.
No comment. So in Liberia, when they tell you say investigation, that means you're shut up. It's not going to happen. So they move on. Yeah, so that's the way to shut people up. There will be investigation, but it will never happen.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's funny, but it's very, very serious. It sounds funny, and this is what it says that like people will tell you like, yeah, we investigate. Oh, it's not on a, in order to close stop these companies, it's straight on an investigation. And when we get a result, nothing. It still with me until it start building up until when a bubble bursts, then people can't be controlled anymore. And this is the situation. It happened in the B Mountain area, happening in Georgia. These things were happening. And
it happened
it
in
start,
Nokoro.
they
Imagine
not. I need the chemo committee. There was some,
in Nokoro
no. They
Fort.
submitted a report. They submitted a
Oh,
report, but they
forget
have
that
not.
thing.
They
What
did
report
no.
submitted?
Paul, they submitted a report, but not what they did. Let me tell you what happened. Even with the DEA bosses report, it's been submitted to the president, but they did not make the finding public. The result of the finding was submitted, but the people were waiting to see what happened. The result, the finding was submitted to the president office, but you don't know what happened. The problem need
But
to
there's
know.
no report until we know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
They always submit the finding, but because
So we
it will
don't
step
know.
on. Yeah. Anyway, we want to say welcome to you again, Jala's Aloysius. Jala is a good friend in Liberia. Jala, welcome to the Borderland. This is the year in review. Jala is the director general and the proprietor of the Jala's news agency in Liberia. We use this network to relay our program in Liberia. Congratulations, Jala. Merry Christmas, and I wish you a prosperous 2025. So, Jala, wherever you are, congratulations for having the Jala TVG news. Anyway, I'll continue, Paul. Let's see what happened next. Oh, whoa! What is this, boss, Paul? This is a boss. I think this ball made a news in Liberia in 2024. It's a big thing. The boss seems to be a nice, clean one, Joe. Why will it make news like that? What is the story behind this boss, Joe, Paul?
The story behind the boss is that the arrest agenda was to
What is the arrest agenda? We keep saying arrest agenda for people that don't come from Liberia. They don't know what is called arrest agenda. The government, this is the government working agenda. What's the other party working agenda they want to take out to is the arrest. Explain to the people, please make it clear to them what arrest agenda means, so they'll understand where you're coming from. So then you continue with your story. Please tell what arrest agenda means.
I'm trying to put something up here to
Okay.
simplify what is.
Okay, go on for the benefit of our listeners and the followers. What is the arrest agenda? People don't know what is arrest. Arrest means to arrest somebody. Go on. You want me to help you out here,
yeah? Yeah, my PC is frozen here.
Okay,
hold on.
Anyway, let's put that another time. Let's continue. We'll go to that level. Go on. Paul, you still have some technical issue with your internet connection. So, Paul, if you're hearing me, Paul has some issue. Paul, if you just joining us, that this is there's a boss right now. You see on the screen is it came from this clip came from the front page Africa. This is June 25, 2024, and the story reads: Government of Liberia clarifies new transport buses were supplied by Ghanaian-based Brazilian manufacturer company. There's a noise about this. People think that they were so old about the buses in Ghana, and the government of Liberia went to have these buses revamped, or the government of Liberia went to have these buses repaired and be brought to Liberia for to be used by our government of Liberia. I mean, for the transport authority, that's TLA Liberia. But then what happened next? There was a lot of outcry over these buses. Paul, what do you have on the Paul? You've already put something on the screen that Paul, can you remove that? Paul, if you have issue, Paul, you need to go out to come back, Paul. Paul, or Paul have some issues. So I have my issue with my colleague Paul right now, and I'm not seeing him in the background already. So I think it's been covering other things here. So let's see what Paul has right now. Okay, so yeah, we're talking about the newspaper. I was just talking about the boss that you saw there. The boss is basically from the Ministry of. It was a boss from the. We're going back. So you have some having some technical issue. Paul is having some issue right here. Now, this is the boss. We bring it back here again. The boss is it came from the Ghana, and the government. There were too many noise about this boss in Liberia. So what happened was the Liberian people got the news. There was a news. Paul going to run Q. A video is Q. Paul will tell you what were the news about noise about that particular boss in Liberia. What they did was the ministry did not. Liberian people didn't want to know what happened to that particular boss. It's because it was a abandoned boss from the Brazilian company in Ghana. So what happened was it was revamped to bring to Liberia to go to the transport company to run the boss. But the news broke out, another talk show host came up with the story and talking about the bosses were not new bosses as claimed by the ministry of, the government that were bringing to ease transportation problem in Liberia. And it was a big news in Liberia. So, and I think, yeah. So that's has been the story. So what is happening here right now? Paul, we're going to cue. There's a video cue, but I think I've lost Paul concerning this. He's going to get a video cue to tell you what's up with that video. So Paul is away for now. So what we're going to do, we'll take a quick break, and now while Paul, we're going to adjust and get. I think another colleague will be Augustus. God Joyful son. Gus Tillman will be joining us. So one of our panelists will be joining. So we'll take a quick break, guys. We do apologize for the technical issues. We'll take a quick break and come back, and we will try to make the correction in our technical issue. Is having some issue here right now, so we'll come back and we will. Let's see what we do. We'll give you a rundown what's happening right now. Let me take a quick break. Take you some musical break and come back and help you with some of our stories. We'll continue with the story. So there we go.
This baby with my new baby. Oh yeah, I walk with my hair up, with my hair well, and then I wear my smile. Thank God for life. Been to hell and came back. I saw demons with long hair. You wanted me to take my life, but never hold me down. When bad people throw me down, yes, I pick me up from the mud and made me shine. Yeah. Yes, he hold me down. He said, my son, go and bluff with your new set. See me bluff with my new set. I keep bluffing, I will bluff with my new set. See me bluff with my new set. Oh yeah. Bad vibes, I don't fuck with you. Fake friends, I don't fuck with you. I'm sorry if I use the F word, but I fuck with my real ones. Looking at a real champion. I'm a champion. Maybe I'll be a major. You can move my ziggies. You can copy my ziggies. My son of a rival is a rival, so copy that. I never wanna be in a drama and negativities. I wash my hair clean, so I'm eating wakings. I been to hell and came back. I saw demons with lipstick. You wanted me to take my life, but Glipper hold me down. Yes, he hold me down. Yes, I pick me up from the mud and made me shine. Yeah. Yes, he hold me down. He said, my son, go and bluff with your new set.
You are watching the review of Liberian newspapers headlines that made news during the week on the Bottom Line Liberia. Please join us every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Liberian time, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 Central European time.
Let's talk about it. Hey, yes. Young Master exclusive.
Hey. We got plenty things to talk about here today. We got plenty things to talk about here today. Hey, we got plenty things to talk about here today. Hey. We got plenty things to talk about here today. See, every first start with Pricey B. Pricey B, we mix you. Everybody loves you. But God love you best. Yeah. See, your dad makes you, and your mom makes you, and all your friends too. Yeah. I remember the time we were doing longer me. Raspy, JB, Equacy, I lost more than a beat. The legend, Equacy, yeah. It's a big blow to the game. The whole world is causing the deep. We got plenty things to talk about here today. Oh Lord, we got plenty things to talk about here today. I wanna allow further. We got plenty things to talk about here today. You're too plenty. We got plenty things to talk about here today.
We were talking.
Once again, thank you very much for coming back. We have some technical issues. Thank you for being patient. That was a quick interlude of music to tell you what we have on hand. We just continue with our year in review. So very soon, one of our colleagues, panelists, will be joining us. Augustus got to him from Germany. But in the meantime, Paul is back. Paul, welcome back. Hey, Augustus, welcome from the live Germany. How are you today? Welcome and very happy.
Hi, Jamal. How are you? I'm doing well.
Good to have you. Good to have you. We are more like, there you go. That's a little German. That's a guy. The guy's been away for a very, very long time. One of our colleagues, Paul, can you remove these pictures, please? Thank you. Let's have Augustus first before we continue with the Awolo Wolo. How do you call it? Awolo Wolo bosses. Let's Paul. Will you please welcome our lost good friend, God Augustus Gonson? Mr. Tumi, welcome.
Thank you, Jamal. Thank you, Jamal.
Whoa, Mr. Toby, welcome to the Bottom discussion. It's been a while, and we want to officially congratulate you on the show. This young man got married during the summer. Since he disappeared, we have not seen. So the Bottom family want to officially congratulate you on this program.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think
Thank
we've done
you
that
so
before.
much.
How many times you want to congratulate this guy? We want to congratulate him when something else happened. I'll be waiting to fly to Germany something. So I'm waiting. I don't want to break the news on the show, but somebody's waiting soon. So anything happens, we'll break the news, but let's keep it secret. But well, let's continue with it. Let's not keep our audience waiting for. Let's continue. Augustus, tell us, you know about this boss right here. What's the information about this boss right on the screen? Just to remind you, we're coming to you live from Europe. My name is Jamal Kamara. Tonight discussing in review with my colleagues. That's the guy Augustus told me from Germany. Together tonight is Paul, the Lord Children based in London. We're going through the years, the events that shaped our country, Liberia. We used to see major newspaper in Liberia to give out as our sources. But anyway, we'll take it to Augustus. Augustus, Paul has been talking a lot about the event. You tell her what you think about this boss. Why is this boss what's a big news in Liberia?
I think from public sentiments, I can speak from public sentiments, but from a governmental angle as to why I cannot much, because the NTA, for me, in my own opinion, the NTA did not do much, or the government did not do much. But from public sentiment, the public was excited because Liberia has this issue of transportation. It has been from government to government. And from Madam Salif time, where the NTA was doing much better, onto the George Weah time, during the Madam Salif time, we could see at least some of the times there were buses. Even the University of Liberia was giving some of those buses to help students as well. Though they did not do well in maintenance, but at least there were times that, yes, the buses plied the streets and it was helping in transportation. Until the time they got damaged and could not be maintained, then came the next era. What did they do? We did not see those buses not even the donors was engaged anymore, because the Indians has been doing very well in Liberia's transportation sector. It is often that the Indians or the Chinese are donating these buses and giving it to Liberia, and we are not maintaining them. So the public was yearning for some resolution, some solutions, for transportation. And then the buses came in. So it put up this huge excitement, like you said, Jamal. It brought up this huge excitement from the people that they were rejoicing, and in every corner the buses were being discussed. But I want to highlight something as well. Probably maybe you've been having it as something to discuss. But I just want to state this, since we're discussing the bus, onto the people at the Transport Authority. Maybe they need to look at Mo Ali. He's using a well-strategized plan that he's working with his team, and they're doing far better than lots and lots of the government agency and other line ministries. So the Transport Authority needs to do much more better. We applaud them for what they've done, but they need to do much more better.
Yeah, but then the issue here, there was a news. Thank you for highlighting that we need more transportation issues, right? To lead to transportation issues in Liberia, because that's one of the challenges we have in terms of infrastructure. And looking at infrastructure, we have a good motor roads and getting better cars in the country, and could also cause to there's an issue. But there's the other side, the flip side of it. I think there was not only about bringing the buses, but the issue Paul I think Paul was about to. He had a video cue about the story behind this particular bus. Paul, you still got a video ready for to go?
That the buses were made in East Africa?
No, it was made in Brazil. Okay. Yeah, no, not in Africa, Brazil, but there was a bunch of buses being reshaped or revamped or whatever it is to be sold to Liberia on a higher price. It's not new buses.
Liberia. Now,
this is the story we reported from Accra.
The talk show.
In Accra. So
there's a guy called there's a guy called Kevin.
Doing is the Liberian government. The current government is a very, very.
Boy, I think you have some issue. You have issue. Go on, let it roll. Go on, Paul. Let it roll.
Bad government. Near against upon where is bad, but this old man and his people are corrupt. This man is taking property and showing to Liberians as Liberian properties. I showed you last week these buses. They are yellow.
Yeah, Paul, you need to stop this video. It's keep roll. Paul, you need to stop the video.
Paul, come to have a strategy to lie to the Liberian people that they are bringing in fresh buses. 300 fresh buses, they are lying.
Okay.
If you're Liberian watching me tonight, you need to understand the government lying. The government is doing that isn't true. Bring you the facts to prove to Ghanaians and Liberians, especially Liberians. I'll be adding you guys to my show because I've realized that the government of the day in Liberia is a lying government. They think the Liberian people are foolish. And they will use propaganda to see you. And I showed you videos. Sorry, this and monkey. I showed you videos and pictures.
Well, if you hear me, please stop the video. Stop the video. But it's if people are not following it, it's not going well. We can explain what the story is about, guys. Put a video, put a picture, leave it on the page. I will explain why people are not following. Just leave it like that, Paul, please. Go back. Please put the on the screen. Put the video on the screen. We'll just explain why this guy is trying to explain. Paul is. Are you there, Paul? Paul is having serious issue with his internet. No, the video the guy was talking about, the Ghanaian journalists were talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Don't play the video, just leave it on the screen, Paul.
The number plates of Ghana, your property, they are taking up corrupt. This man corrupt. This man is lying to the people of Liberia. And
Paul,
they
just pause the video.
Are using Ghana, your property, They are taking our property and showing to Liberians as Liberian properties. I showed you last week, these buses were rebranded. Very, very bad government.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for posting the video. Thank you. Okay, this guy is a talk show host called Kevin Taylor. He got a talk show called With All Due Respect. He was talking about if you're just following this, we're talking about those bosses. That's what I'm trying to get clear to you, Augustus. That these bosses were about 300 more bosses were coming. It was a same sample, 2 samples were sent. Somebody's having noise in the background. Please, if you have, please mute your camera. If you're not speaking, please mute your microphone. So it means like this video. The one is Kevin Taylor is a Ghanaian talk show host. We were talking about the buses that was being brought to Liberia. 2 samples were brought to Liberia, and those buses were not good buses. They were old buses, and you were talking about the government of Liberia is lying to the people of Liberia, telling them that they're bringing new buses. And so I think this was a big breaking news for us. And after this, the buses story went wildfire. Paul, what happened? Did we? I'll go back to Augustus. I think it's back on. Let's see, Augustus. Yeah. So you see, that's the story we're trying to clarify here. Augustus, are you with us?
Okay, now
yeah, that's the story. That's the story behind the bus. It's not about easing the transportation, but the government trying to do something. But if they were not. According to this guy, they are not honest to the Liberian, telling the buses were repaired and they were being abandoned for years. It's a Brazilian-made manufacturer company that brought these buses to Ghana, and because they were abandoned, so government of Liberia went there to take these buses and they have them rebranded or prepare them. But in Liberia, new buses. Instead of telling them it was from Ghana, he told them it was a new bus being brought out. So that's the story we are talking about here. Did you follow this?
Yes, of course, Jamal. Like earlier on, I said I did not want to speak from government's angle. But there's one thing that we should understand as well, Jamal, that our politicians are getting more sophisticated in their propagandas that they carry on.
Right.
So this, for me, who seems as another propaganda against the government. One thing that the government did clarify concerning this story before is there in Front Page Africa. I know I came across it and I read it before. It's in Front Page. It's on Front Page Africa. And the company is a Brazilian Ghanaian-based company. The government has engaged them to purchase new bus and also for refurbished buses. So I think government mistake was to inform the public that they were bringing new buses. They should have told the public straight ahead, oh, we got this amount of pieces new and these other ones will be refurbished to support the transportation process. But if government did not clarify, they were wrong and they later came back and clarified. But I think the talk show host is exaggerating the problem.
Okay.
Exactly, because the thing is, NTA did not have buses at the time. Yeah, so even if a spokesperson from NTA said we got new buses, obviously those could be seen as new buses as well.
Right. But then what is the story? Sorry, I'm going to just interrupt you. What is there that it did not continue? 2 samples came back, they were returned. Is it because the government public outcry or because they feel that they could not deal with them anymore? What's your story to this? What's the information?
No, obviously the government did well by not carrying on the deal because the government already had backlashes on other contracts from Ghana. You saw the scholarship scheme that they had. It had issues, and Martin Colley and other activists were pointing it out that the government should not go into deal with those kind of people, that they were corrupt. There's no institution that existed, you know. So the government was smart enough to feel like, okay, probably if we continue doing business with Ghanaians, they're going to dupe us. Other people are manipulating them so that this government can fail.
Right. Okay.
So I think that was a smart decision as well.
There you go. Paul, what is your take before we go to the next paper on this or next review on this? Paul still having some issue. It takes time to get. Paul, you still
I
having
don't
some
know
issue?
if you guys hear me, got my internet.
Yeah, we noticed that
Yeah, we can hear you, Paul.
Yeah,
Go
my
on, Paul.
internet is giving payment, so I'll be in the background. You guys flow.
No, go on. We still hear you. You need to contribute.
We can
Go
hear
on.
you now.
Yeah, my internet keep fluctuating. Oh, okay. So my take on this, let's give the talk show host. We need to give him a medal because what the government did, they were bringing old bosses into the country to blindfold our people, and these are refurbished bosses that were done. And this talk show host said, no, this is wrong. You cannot take an old boss, rebrand them, and take it to another country. He really helped Liberia in this case because it became a big thing that they were bringing 385 of these bosses to be going up and down, which was some good news. If you want to do things right, the country have money, buy new bosses. You can't go to Ghana and get old bosses from there and bring it, say, oh, you're making this. I think the government, they shot themselves in the foot. They have money. Could we imagine? I would give something when I say these people may not like it, but take money from the pro team. She have over 2 million in her budget. Take it and spend it on buses for the people. The speaker, the vice president, even the president, if they came to rescue the country, the money that their office carried them on, spend that money on the people. They will know it's a rescue. But this was some kind of fiasco thing they went into, and it backfired. They had a public outcry, and it backed up.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Then let's continue with the next edition. I think we have a fair comment from both of you. Paul, what's the next story on tonight?
Jamal, can I just chip something in quickly before we go to the next one?
Okay, go on.
I did mention that we ought to be careful on political propagandas. If you listen to the guy, right, he's giving the bosses some ownership to Ghanaians. And obviously the contract does not say that the bosses were donated by Ghanaian or the bosses are from Ghana to Liberia. It's a business deal. So,
but if you follow me, what he's saying, he said that like Ghanaian bosses been sold, Liberian Ghanaian bosses been sold to Liberian, and all Ghanaian bosses been sold to Liberia. So Ghanaians are not aware of it. He's making them to be aware that, and also the Liberian be aware that all bosses have been being refurbished and taken to Ghana as new bosses. So you tell him, you're giving information on both sides. That's why you're doing it right here. Anyway, it's all right. We got a long way to go. If you just join you, we're looking at year in review for the Northern Liberia. But tonight with me is Paul Cholople in London, as well as my colleague Augustus Gartomi from Germany. We want to see what will happen, what shape 2024 from the borderline ends. Paul, what we have next? I think Paul is taking some struggle here with the paper, so I think I'm going to take it from Paul. Let me see what we got. Paul is not getting us what's going on right now. I will take it from Paul and Augustus. Yeah. So Paul, let me take control. I think you have some issue with your internet. I will step in if you mind. Augustus, I know Paul has been there helping out. Augustus, you know what about the yellow machine backlash? What's your information and what do you think? What happened when these things happen? What's the story?
Well, Jamal, the issue of the yellow machine is as similar as the buses issue. The government is excited to do more.
Yeah,
they want to do more. And from the onset of their insurrection, they were having huge plans from campaign, campaign messages to spell out all the things the president wants to do.
Yes,
his manifesto stated them. So road was one of Joseph Boyga's major things he spoke even when he lost the election before.
Yeah, yes, correct.
So his first target was to make sure that road is taken care of.
Yeah, but I
Without
want you to tell me,
attacking,
listen, no, listen, I want you to go straight to the story. I don't want you to explain to me the policy of Joseph Boakai. The story of the new machine, yellow machine. What is the story tells you? What was the backlash from the public? I know what you're trying to explain to
the,
me.
the
Yeah,
thing is, Jamal, the thing
yeah.
is, they overemphasize what they are doing
Mm,
instead of putting those things they are doing or has on plans to do into action.
right, good.
The first thing is they were having engagement for buses. I mean,
Right.
for the tractors, the machines, and those engagement did not yield the necessary results, and it was already out in the public.
But the question is just to get you some information. The question was the house of the legislation was saying that they didn't go through the procedure to acquire these machines. Do you agree with that?
Obviously, I started at the time. I started with the house, yes, because
Okay.
the every government has procurement policies, you know,
Mhm.
and purchase policies. So if they did not do it, I totally sided with the houses that they should have done it the right way.
Okay.
And that's what I
Well,
said earlier on, that they overemphasized what they were doing.
exactly. You're right on the point. That's why I like to you make your point clear. Paul, you want to say something about the yellow machine stay, or you want to continue with that? If you stay good,
No,
Paul, stay. You okay? No.
yeah, if you can, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear
With
you. Go on, Paul.
regards to the yellow machine, I said it earlier. The
Mm.
president first came out when the story broke that his good friend, a long-time friend, was going to give him his machine to carry out the so-called agenda, their policy that they were going to change Liberia. But in later on to find out that it was not the case. There was big cash behind this machine. So the president did mislead the public in his first statement.
But yeah, Paul, what you are saying right now, you have the information we have right now is that the noise about whether how the person acquired the machine was the issue. It was not whether it was misleading the public. The issue was the house was arguing that the way the machines were acquired was wrong. That was the argument. Whether misleading the public, that's a different thing.
Yeah, that's what
So
I'm leading to. That's
okay,
what
go
I'm
on. Sorry
leading
about
to.
that. Okay, go on. Sorry about that. Go on. Mm.
Yeah, that's what I'm leading to. Because the horse is seeing the way it was acquired. The first thing the president misled the public that his friend promised to give him his machine. Then later
Okay.
on, now we found there were big money involved in this machine. So that
Right.
contract, you see, so the story, they didn't come clean from the start of how this was going. It was a good initiative, but they didn't come clean the way they went about it. And that's what the horse got big concern about.
Okay. All right, thank you. Guys, so guys, in July the same year, we have this another issue that came out. This is the story. To our welcome police someone on audits death. The story when the Walker King is going to go after the 4 auditors death. The former minister of finance were invited to the to be it was invited for information regarding the death of these auditors. And this was true. Was it welcoming to the public that the government of Joseph Boakai was going after those people that think they were untouchable? What do you think, guys? I'll start from you, Gant.
Oh yeah, obviously, Jamal, because the death of those 4 government officials, auditors, was very, very important to the public. The public wanted to know how they died, what happened to them, because the government at the time had given a different side of the story when the public had viewed their deaths in a different way.
Yeah.
So a new government was clothed with the authority to make sure that a new autopsy is done,
Right.
and investigation goes on with those involved. Now the government came up and pointed to people as well that they wanted to question. One is, okay, finance minister, these people were under your employ or they were under your control as a line coordinator because they come from a different department or a different agency, but you coordinate their activities.
Yes.
So you come to answer to these things. But normally the Paul can say many of the things go fiasco way, Jama, because this government comes up and say, okay, we're going to investigate. And at the end of the day, because these guys are big shots, as we can say, and everything just died down. The family of those people will just continue to grieve for their loved ones and no answer, no solution. So
Yes.
then why
Yeah.
did you come up to tell us you gave the people some assurance that,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
perpetrators will be brought to justice? Where are the
Yeah.
perpetrators?
You're right. You know, before you came on the show, I know I gave Paul a chance to go. Before you came on the show, we were talking about Paul and myself spoke about it. We said, you know, I don't know if you know, probably if you know any report that has been conclusive report submitted to the Liberian people in regards to like the $16 billion issue, the issue of many other that have been happening in the inaugural committee, many other reports that the committee was set to get to up to put together. Are you aware of anything that been conclusive that the public has been informed so far? Paul and myself wondering if you know of any, let us know. Do you know of any sense of your time being in and out of Liberia?
No, I don't know of any at all, Jama. I myself has been waiting for that report.
You know, I mean, we're not talking about the Joseph Barker government. For the past government, that's what we're looking at. The only report I know of is the TRC report that was set up, and they made recommendations, and the public. I mean, the information is there in the public domain, but I don't know of any. I think a DEA report has been completed and submitted to the president's office. You don't have any feedback. So, if you just join you, or if you know anything that we say right here, if anything, please let us know. Probably we stand to be corrected. So, Paul, we want to move on. Yeah.
Let's move on.
Okay. Now we have this is the story. This came with this story. The budget was out. Somewhere finger the budget. They saying like somewhere. It sounds. It's a finger. It sounds. It's a polite guys. All this. They use the word in this part to alter. Let's look at the word here. It says somewhere alter the budget. Just alter the national budget. But it's the news. They started making big news in the country. What was there like? Somebody mess with the budget, somebody play with the budget, somebody finger the budget. I don't know the word, if I can use the word in the public place, finger the budget. But anyway, I'm going to use the word in the newspaper. This is a front page newspaper story. Say there was in somewhere around in August. They were coming with the draft of the budget, and there was a news that broke somewhere out of the budget. I think. What was it like to you, Paul, when you heard this from a newspaper screen with this kind of headline? You say, "Here we go again, Liberia." What did you think was happening? Paul, tell me what you think.
This story was one of the important of laughable story in Liberia. The thing we heard that the clerk, I think it's the clerk of the lower house.
Yeah.
It was alleged that he authored the document, and the allegation was put on him. But how can just a clerk who don't know the figure of every ministry will author and change something? That's the story that didn't go down well with the people. And it became like, okay, another talking point in Liberia. How can a clerk author the document? With all of those committee that is in the house that can do the ways of me committee that know how to put budget together. In their midst, the clerk took the budget and authored it. The story never add up. And that story today, we found out that usually when the house play with the budget, there's a word that they use in the end. They call it budget shortfall. So the clerk just messed with the budget, and according to the story, it became budget shortfall. They have to take it back and do something else with it. So the clerk was blamed on this one. That was the allegation put on him. But we don't know whether investigation was carried out, whether this clerk been dismissed. This Liberian long story.
Yeah, I think Gus is you follow a lot of things in Liberian politics, more especially around the parliament. I think one of those smart guys have been around a lot. I follow what's happening. What was it like for you when the news broke to say, I mean, I've never seen it happen anywhere. These things seem happen in countries like Liberia, like somebody altered the budget. That's a national budget, man. Come on. How do you sat there and say, wow, like they came? What came to your mind when this kind of newspaper screaming this hell out? So who altered the budget?
Jama, at the time that news broke, the first thing was that something I've always said, that the Senate, in fact, our parliament needs to be restructured. And there are other positions that they just need to take out, because some of the functions of the people they have there, it has no meaning. I don't see what meaningful impact is given to the Senate or to the House of Representatives, but they have them there as staffs, to carry on functions. At the time the news broke, I was like, why should he be the person? What right does he even have to alter the budget? Then I sat to myself and said, okay, what if they, as the fourth runner, alter the budget and is just looking for a layman to shift the blames on? Because many times it happens. They mess it up and they look for somebody simple and say, okay, this person carried the load and he cannot defend himself. So, and there will be the same people to come back to back the man up and say, okay, and this, just so that he can maintain the job. Or they just fire you. But the thing is, our national budget, before it goes to the executive, when it's at the parliament, the last person it should pass through. When it's done with everything, it goes, I think, to the pro tem or so. And Kanga Lawrence, at the time, was the one who called for the investigation. I'm like, okay, you're calling for investigation when you mess it up. Yeah, because how did it get out of your office? Who, in fact, that authority, who granted that authority for the clerk to alter it?
Yeah.
So too many lapses in our national development, and most especially with our lawmakers, Jamal, that it make you wonder, like, do these people know what they're doing?
Yeah.
But at the time, I also thank her because her action was swift to call for investigation. Some of them will just renege on it and try to justify.
Yeah. That's true. Thank you.
These are things that cause great danger. It can't happen in the Western world, trust me.
You're right. What happened here, brother? God, is like Liberia is one of the countries that have strange things happen. And just recently, now I don't want to add up it, just somebody just sat there. I don't know, our capital building just got into flames. While we find a way to investigate that as well. So strange things happen in other countries. Like Liberia has one of the specific. Liberia is one of the countries that you don't know where to put it. But we're going to that because, guys, we getting toward the new year, so we need to wrap up ASAP. So we're able to get the guys to go. Those who want to go to church, those who want to go home to sit with the family to hear the year roll in. We need to rush throughout this hour. So we've got a couple of articles to go through, kind of things that happened that shaped our country in 2024. So I just want to let's quickly get there, and then let's see what I did next 20-30 minutes to see if we can wrap up this and get those who follow right now and just let them have their chance to see the year roll in somewhere where they plan to do. I know I got a lot of our loyalists following us right now. We say thank you for joining us wherever you join us from, and thanks for being off from the 1st of January up to this year, and you've been there. Those who did not make it over up to this year, we wish them the best. Those who are not around with us, we wish them God's meaningful blessing with their family wherever they are. We wish them the best, and those who made it with us, thank you very much for being with the Bottom Line Liberia. We are here for Liberia. We're here with the passion, and all the panelists. We say thank you. We still want to continue. We're going through the year in review, and we're using our major newspaper Liberia headline to just summarize what happened, what shaped in Liberia in 2024. So, Paul, what do you have next? Okay, I'll take it from here, Paul. So there's another thing. So just one minute comment on this, guys. So something happened. CDC got introduced again. That's the the party, the former president party, CDC, that was George Weah party. Something happened, Paul. Paul, what was the story like? It's a blood, smoke, and chaos. This is the news for this airline. Front page Africa again saying blood, smoke, and chaos. This is like, I understand that the office, the headquarters of the party of the former president George Weah was being visited by some armed police. What was the story?
Well, Jamal, this story was another sad story in Liberia. And that day happened like 2 a.m. in the morning when the police went to arrest all drugs dealer to search for drugs. And they went at the party headquarters, and this became a problem that CDC had to call upon their supporter. And it ended up being a bloody thing that happened at the party headquarters, something that they could have done in a professional way, that we issue arrest for this place to be, or we got letter from the court that we need to carry on some investigation. But they went unknown to the people in the morning, and this guy called crowd, it became something. So I don't know if they arrested the people they went for. It just became a noisy thing, and it happened that they no hit, no take. Yeah, they created chaos.
Right. God, what's your information on the story?
It's as similar as Paul's narrative. So the thing is, the DEA did engage the Congress for Democratic Change on a raid, but then the DEA was not specific as to when the raid will take place. So they just surprised the community that they went to raid and went there on the day they chose. And because they know that they were going to one of the most populated community in that environment, number two, they were going to also a political party that is at the top headquarters. So they contacted the the NSA, they contacted the National Police so that they could be aided in assisted by some of their officers. And the police aided them. It doesn't happen often in all of DEA raid, but because they were going to this particular place, they have experiences from these people. So they just asked for support and they went on their normal raid. But unfortunately, again, I would say even the police still needs training, because what happened there that day shouldn't have happened, you know? And obviously, our youth needs serious education, civic education, you know, how to engage your police, how to be more safer in these kind of political issues, you know, the kind of resistance to give when it's necessary. All of those things, Jamal, our youth need to be taught those things, because if the police have come to just raid, even if it's at your party headquarters, they came for a few people, you can escort those few people with the police to the police vehicle, escort them also to the police headquarters, and wait for investigation. Causing no chaos.
Yeah.
No casualty. It does not require any casualty.
Right.
But
yeah, what I also noticed, like they were not pre-informed. Issue of a previous warning that they need to evacuate the premises because they were believed to be allegedly selling drugs, as they said. But that was the CDC being issued or offered to evacuate the premises. But just like
Jamal, that thing is laughable. Only in the Western world, the police can inform the criminal that will come into you today. But they don't do that thing in Africa, bro. Nobody gonna wait for you.
Let's move on, though, guys. This is another thing that was a big news in Liberia, not a gay church. Those stories has to do with the Methodist Church. Like after there was a Methodist convention so somewhere in the US, the bishop came back to Liberia, he went to Ghana and he was talking about, I mean, he was trying to be clear here, like look, we need to accept everybody into the church, the gay as well as the LGBTQ people were part of the church. So I understand that he was chased out of the church. They would make a big news in Liberia, and stay something is not. On this side, it's accepted. People say, well, gay and everybody's accepted in the church. Even here, you find the pastors or the priests or reverend or officiating gay marriages and stuff like that. And guys, tell me, what is it like? Why is it that we can't give this guy the chance to listen to? I'm not saying you should accept gay in the church, but that's the church right. But I think this church played on this. What, Paul? What is your information on this? What do we don't know? What we know or what we don't know?
Well, this guy he just a messenger that he came from the big church in America, and he decided to spread the gospel to his people where the chief priests have told him, or where the decision that the church have made. So he had to go to Liberia and spread the gospel, but unfortunately for him, they put in Liberia, don't let to hear those kind of things, so they chased him out of the church. So he just be a messenger, carry the message from the high priest to the lower people, and the lower put in like the message, so they say, you know what, let's chase the guy out of here. It was just as simple as it is.
Yeah, that's true. God, it's something big. It's something like gay thing in Liberia. It could be people could be doing it, but then in Liberia, it's just like in the West when you say that pedophile, child pedophile, pedophilia in the U.S. in the West is a serious offense. Like when you say you are gay in Africa, more especially Liberia, it is something like that. Can you compare the two?
The thing is, Jamal, it's like Liberia used to complain of rape issues, but the law was not taking it serious. It was not taken into context that this is a crime that we need to investigate. It's the same as being a pedophile. And it's quite different, but I think it comes from that generation of the word gay or the homo and things like that, because the problem is, if a teen, how does a teen become a gay? It is either by consent or he must have been played with. So, and that person should be investigated. So I think they are different in definition, and also taking it into context and action, they are different. Because if something is done at will and the person has met the legal age, then we say, okay. Then we give them the other category and say, okay, he can be the G word. But if not, then you go with the F, and that means it's a crime.
Okay.
But also, quite lately, Jamal, I think let's take it on the issue of the church.
Right,
with the church, the bishop, like you said, has attended a conference, and just like Paul stated, right? He brought a message from their convention.
Right.
And he's not telling them that it is our decision as the branch in Liberia. But we're giving you a message from the convention that we should allow these people to become members of the church. We should allow these people to do this and do that as members of the church. But it all boils down again to our civilization. Whether it is something that is unique in our own civilization, whether it is something that is acceptable. And I think the bishop got the message well. And they gave him the message the right way, that he would not bring any message of such again, or he wouldn't attend the conference anymore.
I understand you were chased out of the church when you were at the point you were thrown away from church.
I'm totally against violence, and I don't tolerate it. And that's the reason, you see, I spoke earlier, I said we need to have more civil engagement with our people.
Right.
Quite recently, I don't know if you have it as planned on the itinerary here tonight, but quite recently, a young man was mobbed by angry crowd to death on allegations that he stole a motorcycle. I
Okay.
mean, even if he did, the law should be the one to tell the public what his punishment will be
Right.
for
Okay.
his crime.
I agree.
And that crime should not cost his life. Even if you go to the Liberian Penal Code, it will not tell you that this man should be hanged to death because he stole a motorcycle.
Right.
Yeah,
All right.
so we should
Yeah.
disengage with violence. They were
Yeah. Good.
wrong in the manner of approach they gave the bishop. There are ways to channel it. I remember before that was sometime during the Charles Taylor regime, a similar saga happened at Cottington University when I was there with my dad, my late father, to repair the organ there. And at the time, it was allegation on the then music director and professor. I wouldn't state his name, but there was allegation on him at that time that he was, engaged in such act, and he was, you know, getting students and young boys into it. But for some reason, some of the young people around the Cottington area and from Bone County, I think they did well in engaging the community because it could have led to something bloody. But before
Wow.
the police got there, yeah, it was handled. Traditional people all came in, and then they handed him back, to the police, and no bloodshed, no property damage, and things like that.
All right. All right. Thank you very much for that. Your side of the story. You look at things, friend. Then let's move on to the next one made news in 2024. Now, they say, I think we talk about this budget. So we're going to move the further to this. We're messing with the budget. We'll come out to now. There was something about the Jonas in Walker's government. And the newspaper, sometimes newspaper looks very sensational. And do you believe, you guys, I just want you to get 1 2 second each on this. Do you believe that President George Walker, sorry, Joseph N. Walker has Jonas in his government? If so, there were some pictures here. You see on the top, you got Sylvester Grisby, Machiavelli, I mean, Modan, the former Minister of Commerce. You got people like, what's the name, other names? You got the other names like Minister of Labor, Lance, no, it's a Lance Mines? No, Labor. Yeah, Labor, yeah. You also got Minister of Education. You got former Director of DEA and his deputy, all on the screen, on the face of this newspaper. Do you also, just on your personal perspective or narrative, do you believe that the Mr. Barker has some Jonas's government? Let's know what the Jonas and who are they and what do you think? Does he have?
But the thing about this newspaper headline, like carry this story, they put a big question mark to it. So the question is now that we can only speculate, or because that was the question I asked. Because the way things were going, so they want to know that certain things that were happening is some people were untouchable. Maybe that's why they asked that question. But then later on, people have resigned. Some people I can see, I think A.B. Clement is in the middle there too, and they got rid of him. So the question is the way it is. So that's.
Well, okay, that's fine. What do you think, quickly, what do you think about this, Gat? It's a newspaper. We're just looking at it. It could be like they are just trying to get attention, but there's a front page, September 20.
Like you said, Jamal, newspaper top articles are given sensational, lines to attract the readers and also to attract customers, which will be their consumers. And based on that, they give you something that will actually carry your time so that you can go into the story. And if you want to go into the story, you have to buy the paper or you have to read the article online. If you have to pay online, you got to pay for that reading. And in depth in this story, I think they were talking about a clergyman who had used his sermon to caution President Boyka. And other in his words, he considered some of Boyka's inner cycle people to be Jonases around Boyka. So, but I think in his sermon, he did not list all of these people now on front page. Plus the article, he did not state, it in the way they brought it to the public. So I think it's just media
Yeah.
sensational headlines.
So the newspaper people, a couple of people according to the journal, they are corrupt and inept, and they should be removed. So the newspaper came in their own, just make it more modify the story. Right, fair
Exactly,
enough.
exactly.
Fair enough. Now, this came the story. This is the thing. This has to go back to the issue of the gay issue, where put money before faith. Some people felt that the bishop had collected money to put on that message. But then I think we dealt with that story. I think we don't have much time now. Jump that story to another story, if you don't mind. Now, we know more on the top. One main victim after the I think guys are having some issue with my I have issue with my video right now. I was just gonna go out and come back.
Right. So
Okay, Paul, I'm okay now. I think there's something not right with my video, but let me see something. What is happening right now is like Paul, I will let you take over, but before I think I go to Coca, I'll come back. Issue of my video, but the thing is, the question I want to put you guys is like after the investigation of the Boyka Kamara, the Minister of Finance, the victim, a potential victim in the Boyka first government was Amibodao, and why he resigned. Right, guys, I need to talk about it. Before you take over all guys, let me go out and have a set my opinion on something that you should come back.
okay. Well, thanks, Jamal. Guys, I think you heard about this story, the resignation of the former finance minister, and then he came to Abiy Modal, the how do you call it, the minister for commerce. And this story, both story, the other story about the finance minister that he resigned on illness, and then Abiy Modal, the allegation about this $90,000 car that he asked LRA and Metex to buy on his behalf. That became the so. You want to talk to her about this story? You heard any news of it?
It's not even story that we will take long to talk about. The thing is, we all are crying every day. That's why we sit here on the bottom line to talk about the betterment of our country. So why would I watch a government official who have mismanaged or misappropriate or abuse the public procurement process and do things his own way? So, I mean, the United Party, before they became a government, they were there talking, the CDC is corrupt, the CDC is corrupt, the CDC is corrupt. In fact, they listed people who are corrupt in the George Weah government, in former President George Weah's government, and including the president himself, the former president. And then few months later, you take power and it's not even a year, and you asking people to buy you $90,000 vehicle, and you have your colleagues there as well that you are aware of. They are using $3,500 generator or for gas on generator, whereas you don't even have classroom in, no armchair in classroom in feasible, no armchair in Town, in classrooms, but you got people riding $90,000 car in Morovia. For what? Even the president is not afraid of people that they will harm him, that he himself will look for bulletproof car. But all of them spending money on bulletproof car. You can go and sit down. Yeah, the president goes to Lofa, he sit among people, and the same people. Labra can just amaze me many times, These politicians will just put our heads together and we injure each other, we kill each other, we go against each other. And the same people will sit and dine and wine together. But why was using a $90,000 car? He cannot justify that. and the party asked him to resign, he still wanted to be. The president had to tell him, no, you have to. So I think
we shouldn't
from
waste our
public,
time on this. They're right. The people are corrupt. That was corruption at a higher he had to go.
I mean, but I think something like that happened also on George Weah, but it was like they didn't listen. What makes it different? Because I think Bakari just like, can we give him the credit that he at least he have to push? I mean, at some point I know that he was not. I also understand some, unreliable sources that at some point he was not speaking to Amin Muda anymore, and in fact Amin Muda would not turn his call for Amin Muda. But on the George Weah, people like and McGay, when he came out with that statement he made, when he did a lot of other things, and many other ministers, they were still shielded by George Weah. So we gave Boakai the credit for taking that step to, resign. Not only the other ministers or every agency heads. For instance, there's a guy from was the head of the immigration right now. He's been suspended for some corruption issue. We didn't see that happening on Georgia a lot. I mean, it may happen, was not very, but probably saw heads of director that were being affected. Guys, can we give back President Barker the credit for that comparing to George Weah?
Well, we can give you the credit for that, but he need to do more. If the $22 million that on roll, if they were going to take action to, then I think I would give him maybe 110% credit on it. So it can be halfway. It got to be across the board. So this guy was just called because people, social media put more behind him. So there was no way that he was going to be in his government. And this is it. Yeah, he was caught between the scissors and he could not get away from it. They got people that the public works minister that were pardoned by the House for misuse of $22 million. Why they couldn't get rid of him? So we can give him credit on the other side and say, look, you didn't do it right on the other side too.
Okay. Let's move on, guys. Now, there was issue coming up now. God, before you join us, it was in February. We've been trying to collate things together. Democracy on sale. This newspaper started breaking out on February 9, 2024. J. Fonati Kofa said that he wanted to audit the House, which he was vice speaker, deputy speaker for 6 years. And that was the start of his end, the end of his start, the beginning of his end. So from there, he's been hunted down. Then they coming down to this story you see on the front page after newspaper saying the Democrat himself. This is that money was changing hands to get to the Speaker of the House at the time. Now, I'll leave this, I'll move to the next topic that will give you more information to speak on. The same front page Africa. This is a plot to remove Speaker on rivalry. So look what's happening. So then I'll go to another page, you will speak on that again. And another story. This is the 15,000 each for Kofa's head. Do you guys know what happened here? Because I'm trying to put the story together. It's the same story. When you said that, I want this some. Do these stories relate? We said, Paul and myself been saying today that this guy was quick to talk about auditing the House. You should have waited to be well grounded, build relationship before you talk about get going after people. But it was too early. He got some vampires there, powerful, untouchable. That once you start, and at the start, before he became speaker, he knew that the executive did not want him to be speaker of the House. And therefore, he managed to get in. He's not even well grounded yet. Now his feet not on the ground yet. He's talking about he wants to have the auditor. So don't you think he was telling himself so early? And we feel that this is not something new. I mean, going after him to getting off technically he's out of the office as a speaker. But don't you think? I think Paul and myself talk about it lengthily, but I want you to see, what do you think? Why is Kofa? Where did the whole thing started from your point of view? What did the whole thing started for the Kofa issue? I'm listening to you. This is Augustus.
Okay. I think Kofa himself should have put his house in order.
Mm-hmm.
What do I mean? When you check Kofa's office staffs, there are duplications of positions there. That's one. Number two, he's a man of good character, but from his colleagues' view, he's not. So they are simply telling him, bro, you can't be dirty like us and telling us we are dirty. So it's either you are not us or we are against you. Kofa came with a good plan, Jamal. You narrated it. He wanted to order them. But what happened to the times he was there before he became speaker? What happened to those times? Did he use other people with the authority to propagate his message, at least, so that people can point to it and reference it like, oh, the speaker was passing the message before over and over. It has been in the pipeline. And now that he has the gavel, he's making use of it. Then he had the executive as a challenge. He should have built his constituents at least for a year or two or more. And then you come up with this plan. In that way, you will gain the trust of other people. But I think he have not gotten the trust and the confidence from a lot of people before he brought his plan up. And that's why they often say, don't state your plans until you're ready to push it. Because when you put it out and you're not ready to push it, somebody will just buy it free for you and they use it. Or they're going to use it against you. And that's what happened to him.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, you clearly stated. I can't say more than that, Paul. I think he just confirmed what we're saying all along before he came in. I mean, we knew very well that Kofa has, yeah, we have a beautiful plan, but people like you cannot do it. People in their house, they were there for years and they're well planted, man. You can't get them out, and you need to know before you play those games. You will know. I think he was a political immaturity on his side. I believe. Anyway, I may be wrong. But anyway, let's move on. Now there's a probe on the way.
Jamal,
go on.
Jamal,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that paper, if you look at the headline and below it, they say what?
Yeah.
Fala, VP Co, and Nuque link. So, and this guy, we're talking about reform. Listen to the names below there. These are people that he'll be implicating. So the link, so he will not mature enough.
We talk about it. Yeah, I think it was a political immaturity on his side. That's why he just hung himself so early. Like you said, that he shot himself in his foot. Let's move on, Paul. We'll move to the. I would say this. Now, this is the point he said. After all the story, he said he disappointed in the executive. Did you expect the president to help him when the president wanted him out from the start? I mean, what do you see? He wanted the government to this president was the head of the executive to help him out so he can survive. But the president at the start wanted him out. Did he even want him to be the speaker in the first place? So he thought he was in good book with the president. This is what he thought, but he was misled. I mean, probably didn't believe.
Yeah, so Jamal,
Anyway.
the thing is, he have not been smart all along. He can be a very smart lawyer, but he never read between the lines. From day one, this guy wanted you, he didn't want you to be. And you sat down there, they play on your intelligent computer room.
I agree. I think I agree, Paul. I agree. I think he's a smart, he's a good lawyer, but he's not a smart politician. That's different being a politician and being a lawyer.
He's not a smart politician. Because the thing is, it was just there from day one. The allegation being around that they have their money given. And to him, he was not smart because Yeke Koruba, no people may like him or hate him, But Yeke Kolba said this thing from the start. Say there were £4,000, dollars voucher given out to remove you. That should have been an eye opening for him. You see, but because he was not looking at it, thinking that you're in a good book, he got done.
No, but he got he got a few guys around him, like those boys called themselves journalists. At some point in the house, it will be anytime coming to be shot. I mean, the speaker will not move you. When they move you, the whole house will go down. We will move you. Anyway, let's move on. This is a story that came about. I think we talked about that story. What this story was like another story that was like making Liberia think something was going to happen. And this is a story. I'm going to give you a background of this story. A story about this guy that came to Liberia, escaped to Liberia, and he was believed to be in Sohavi. So he was very interested to the police for some investigation in Guinea, and he ended up in Liberia. And when he came, the governor of what's the guy named President of Guinea, Mamadi Doumbouya wanted this guy, and the IG, which is the Inspector General, and turning over with the government, turning over to the Guinean government. And the parents of this guy came crying to the ministry. That they wanted their son alive. I think Justice Janet was they went to court and they succeeded getting the case. So won the case, but when they went to the central prison to get a guy overturned over their family, he was nowhere to be seen. So he was already taken to Guinea and turned over to the Guinean government. And then it became a big news. But I don't know what news came out. Inches Liberia and Guinea, inches away from war between Liberia and like my colleague guy just said. Sometimes the newspaper headline will make you to go into it. It's just something like, is this sensational or is this something like, can we trust journalists with these headlines, guys? There's no way, got nothing to do with the war. It's something. What's happening here? Inches away from war. If you see Guinean president, Liberian president face to face, something like they were like changing words or something like they was at the verge of fighting. Most of those journalists come with these do high-line like captions to get out to read it. Is this selling the paper or you want to get out? I don't know. Is this something? Is this justice to journalism, or is this part of journalism? I don't know. You've been around journalism for a long time. Tell me what you think. The headlines. What is it like? Is it to attract us, or is it something like are they fair to us making these stories, or the story the headlines say something and the inside story says different, the details still say something different? I'm talking to you, God. What do you think? What these airlines will do to us? It also has an emotional impact as well. A mental, emotional impact as well. Guys.
Jamal, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Yeah, that story is not too old. I think it's in a few months ago.
Yeah,
I didn't follow it much because
this happened in November. It happened in November. This news came out in November 16. Yeah.
Come again?
It came out. The story was published on November 16. November 16, not too long ago.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's new and I didn't follow it much, but I can just share my own thoughts towards it as to
I'm not talking about the story. I'm not wanting you to talk about the story. It says it all, but I'm talking about this story was like Paul and myself, we did discuss this on the platform. About with this headline, what does it bring to you when it's like if you go into detail, it doesn't mean that. Why I want you to tell me why these journalists are they doing fair to us? Are they being fair to us?
No, they are not. They are not being fair to the public, Jamal. They are not being fair to the public at all. They are not. I mean, there are several other ways. I mean, you can hone your topic in so many other ways that is going to make good sensation and people will still buy. People will still read. I mean, what's wrong with saying that family of missing inmates ask government for answer?
Yeah.
People will still want to know why is the family asking for answer. There are several ways. There are so many ways you can create this topic and this headline and it will be sensational. But they just choose something that War, because Guinea has a military junta, or Guinea has a military president, so they will flag something of war, and they think, okay, it makes sense to say. Sometimes it's wrong.
Yeah,
It's
Paul.
not
I
even
mean,
good
Paul,
image.
yeah, I know it's not. Paul, I want you to come on. I'll tell you his own part of tabloid. This is a tabloidism, and I'll tell you why these guys will keep with this sensational airline. Paul, what do you think? What is the story? What was on your mind when you read the story? I think we talk about this a lot on this platform.
Yeah. You know, I like what God said. The journalists, I mean, the newspaper have to sell. They have to say something that will attract people to buy it. But actually, Liberia and Guinea came closer to invading Liberia, to be honest.
No, they visited Liberia. That's what they did. That's what I heard.
Well, you cannot visit a country and take your country flag down, my brother. So
and what happened then?
They happened. So when they got to the place, they got angry about the story about these people that have gathered in Lofa County that were against this government. So in one of the towns, they took down the Liberian flag. So I think the story, the newspaper now just sensationalized the whole thing to sell their people. Yeah. So that's what they did.
Yeah, I understand that. We also published that some Guinea soldiers made attempts to one of the towns in Lofa County, and the story they got, the Guinea soldiers got that there were some disgruntled or guys in Liberia trying to invade or to go overthrow the military junta. So therefore, they came to. I don't know where they got the news from, but what was the government of Liberia reaction? Do you know of any, Paul?
No, the government kept quiet on that one. The only thing we heard that some military personnel have gone to that particular area, and then that was the end of the story. So the whole idea was reported that the Guinean soldier went into the town and took down the Liberian flag. So why are you taking now a country flag? Do you want to invade the country? So the newspaper took money, and they went and said, oh, so they blew the whole thing out of proportion. That's it. But they didn't get the actual story. So that was the story.
Okay, thank you. Move on. Now, this, after all we talk about, we just talk about Speaker Jonathan Kofa. You got Jonathan Konati Kofa removal. If you see, Paul sort of picked something off on this story when we're trying to put together the later on this week. Paul said, if you see someone raise his hand, that's the Rachel Nangbe Kuhn. He took over immediately when they blocked the story. Let's people been following that very story. Let's give you a little bit of background. I think you guys are helping me here. There were some allegations against Jonathan Speaker Kofa about some he still got government contract. He's in corruption. So for the three guys went out, the three want to work to make sure that he's removed quite a majority of block. Eventually, they kind of went to work. They set up their own committee. They voted out, and they voted somebody to be the speaker, which is, you see him right here. He was elected. If you see on the screen, the front page, African front page, there's a chaotic takeover because somebody that came to take over for him was Richie Nangwe Kuhn. Now you see on the newspaper front page, they are installing into office. But Paul, you said he raised his left hand when you were taking oath. Is this something unique in Liberia when you're taking oath, you have to raise your right hand? They say another hand you can raise. He will raise his left hand.
Yeah, Jamal.
Let me tell you what you think about this. Something is funny. Paul just brought that to my attention. The speaker, the second speaker now, got two speakers in the house in Liberia right now. Richard Nagbeku is the newly elected speaker, the former speaker. But Paul said to me, Jamal, he raised his left hand. So me, this is a coup d'etat. And what does that mean? Yeah, you give me your side of the story, God. What do you think?
Before guys got me, Jamal.
Yeah.
Jamal, before guys got me, there's something they call horror bus traffic. Let's do the thing quick before the poor come. So the man he missed instead of the right knee, he usually used the left. That's what
I did not pick that up later on the side. I'll be like, okay, raise his left hand to take it off of office. Oh, God.
So Jamal, the thing is, the right hand is often, or we say it is the legal hand.
Okay.
And in the Western world, like you see in America, if they are swearing in people,
Yeah.
the person administering the swearing in ceremony will question you if you're left-handed or you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, then they ask you to use your right hand. They will still not ask you to use your left hand. They will only caution you so that you don't make the mistake to lift the left that you are used to using. But
So,
I think it could be possible that he's left-handed, and not from Paul's view. I can side with Paul as well, but not from Paul's view. It could be that maybe he's left-handed, and when they told him to raise his hand, he just lifted his left hand. Because when they first ask you to go to the Bible or the Quran, they will tell you to place your right hand on either of the religious book that they will use.
Right.
So how come they told him to put his right hand on the religious book? That's where Paul's own opinion comes in. How you take your right hand from on the holy books and then you go lift your left hand to agree? So
but this guy got it on a web, nobody opposing. So then how people
it could also look like those that were installing him, they don't know what they are doing. They just
exactly. That's another point. Yeah.
Okay, guys, another good point to take, guys. Thank you very much. If it's not Johnny or this is Jamal Kamara live from the UK, Manchester. Tonight we are discussing the year in review on the borderline discussion. To discuss this event of the year is my colleague I have from him from Germany. Far from Germany is Augustus Gattume and Paul Delocho. We're discussing the event that shaped Liberia through events and other activities in the year 2024. I'm going to go through it. Now, this is one of the can you call it sorry case of Boyka? This is a great card. This is why at the end of 1 year, this you just see this is from the New Republic newspaper. This source for New Republic newspaper is a senator from Bapul County, Mr. Amar M. Corner. This is what he said about the Boyka government. The tit-tat-toe is the Supreme Court decision now. Government is not. This is different. He said that Boyka first year was a loss. Gentlemen, do you agree? This is a great omen. I won't take from God. God always tends to be in the middle. God, tell me, what do you think? Do you agree with Senator Cornyn? No, let guys always in the middle. I want you to start from here. You always tend to stay in the middle with the UP government. Tell me, what do you think the senator says here? Is this something you agree with or you disagree?
Oh yeah, Jamal. Even I did comment on his Facebook right up that he did before he even got to the newspaper. I 100% sided with him.
Okay.
One was he took it from the stance that they made lots of plans to have some great achievement in 90 days or 100 days.
All right.
And 90 days and 100 days they failed. Then came another 90 days and onward till they got to a full round year.
Yeah.
365 days.
Right.
And counting their gains, from his opinion, that's a loss.
Exactly.
As compared to what they have promised to do.
Right.
And if you want to make a comparative analysis to their predecessors, that again is a loss for somebody who told somebody that you spent 6 years, you did not do nothing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree with him. On a serious note, I agree with him.
Paul, I'll give you 1 minute because we need to rush off because God is in Germany. He's 1 hour ahead of us. In the next half an hour, the year will be rolling in. We need to wrap up in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So, Paul, you can have the time to see a year roll in. Paul, what do you think about the senator's comment regarding to the President Boyka 1 year in office? Fail or pass?
Fail to my knowledge. They say when your Christmas will be good, they start from the day, the first 100 days. that 100 days deliverable is the benchmark of what you would do and how you would achieve it, and people will see the light in it. And the 100-day was with still in the 100-day, he's still appointing people. So that to me is a complete failure. That's is the truth that Amal Corner said here is complete failure, and we agree. We see people now this Christmas in Liberia, people are crying. They never saw such Christmas in our life. So it's a failure on their part. I think they need to buckle up and do better for the next 5 years.
Okay. All right, we'll go next then. Now, the Liberia woke up on December 2nd, guys. This is the news. I mean, the 1st December, this is the news. The first month of the year, the last month of the year, just this year, somewhere at the beginning of this year, this is the news. The fallen prince of Nimba, the notorious world, he has all the adjectives: notorious warlord, parish, evangelist, democrat, the complex legacy of Prince Yomi Johnson. This was the 1st of December. This story was shocking. Everybody, everywhere, every major news channels, Johnson story all over there. Liberia was saddened. Liberia was mourning. Gentlemen, what was the day for you when you heard the news? What happened? I think it was mixed feeling. People felt something's not right. Paul, what was it like when you heard that Prince Yomi Johnson is late?
Well, the thing is, when the news came that morning, the thing is, I felt bad because when I look at my Jack Daniel, I promised myself there will be no war crime put in Liberia. And this is one of the guys that I really wanted to see he to face justice. And that never happened. I felt very bad that he got away with it. And this guy would be laughing in his grave. He'd be laughing. Whether he gone to hell or heaven, he would be laughing that he got away with something. That was my reaction. But on the other side too, it brought joy to me because this is the guy that decided who become president in Liberia for 3 different elections that went through. So now he's gone. Yeah, he was the kingmaker. Now he's gone. We will not have the cloud over people that, oh, if you don't talk to this guy, you won't win election. So let's see the new kingmaker that this big, I don't want to use some word on him. Yeah, he rests his soul in peace wherever he are. But he got away with something, and this guy will be smiling. And this guy going to get a state funeral because he died in office.
So are you saying that death cheated the people? Death cheated other people that they want to see justice?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
I said, so God, maybe I'm not drinking my Jack Daniel because of him.
So yeah, he one of those that was he was one of those that was recommended by the PRC to be investigated more questions. So. People who believe that you should have faced justice, so they see that their justice been denied the way that they have cheated them. Anyway, let me quickly take comment from my colleague, Gad. Gad, 1 minute. Let's see what you think about the late Prince Senator Johnson, Honorable Johnson. It's no more. What was the story like when you heard the death news?
Jamal, since the senator is deceased, I have decided to cease on discussing him. One is because he is a uncle to my mom, but when he was alive, I would say the worst of him without fear. But since she's mourning him, I want to respect her and just let them to put him to rest. But I think in some ways, Liberian people have finally gotten justice, though by a natural cause, but I would just want to leave it as it is to respect my mom as well.
All right, thank you very much. We'll move on then. Fair enough. Now, this announcement happened after the senator passed. You know, there was also his office car got involved in an accident. There were 2 deaths who didn't want to report that. They were much more hot on the house of the senator. Then, but what really caught the ass of the international cup? 2 things happened in December. December 2018, when the senator died on the 1st of December, 18th of December, the Capitol building that was constructed in 1940 something, I don't know the year now. This is what happened. We got over the news that the Capitol building was on fire. Gentlemen, this is like, I was like, a colleague sent me a text around about 2, 3 in the morning before 5 in the morning that the Capitol was on fire. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a joke. But now, I know that is real. What's happening to Liberia? We just heard of a story over story over story coming another again, and this is the bill. This is another edifice of Liberia. History. That's a history here. What's happening? What's happening now? And now we're still waiting again for another investigation report to come up. But up to now, we have no confirmed report of how far investigation has gone. But I don't want you to tell me what at that moment, when you heard the story of the fire on the building, what was what was happening to you? What went through your mind at that moment, gentlemen? I will start with you, Paul.
You know, Jamal, this story, it was one of the saddest things to see because the capital building, I grew up right behind LU. So that's some area that I'm familiar with very well. I used to sell donut all around that area. So it's something that when I saw the Capitol building on fire, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. And this was just a shocking thing. And then looking at it burning, and I could not see fire trucks. The seat of government is burning, and with lack of fire truck to put the flame off. It was just disheartening looking at the seat, where decision is made, and that house is on fire. It was something that I said, no, this can be true. And then the president came out to speak on hooliganism, saying that led to this, that today you talk about a report. How can we have enough or conclusive report that the president have already have a verdict on how the fire started? This is the part that so what I think they needed to do to say, well, let what Ellen did with the executive mansion, that she went out there and got independent people when the executive mansion floor got burned. Then you have a conclusive decision on how they started. But the president already said, yeah, it's an arsenal attack on this, that hooligans, they will not allow hooligans here. So that investigation now in my mouth had a show on this, that they have been tampered with, because on the day, the amount of security officers, lawmakers that went at that scene, they have tampered with the investigation. So there'll be no clue. And before we leave, this story remind me about Flansamington. For we're old enough that were around in the 80s when those set up this thing with Flansamington to eliminate politicians that he didn't like. So if you heard about this story about the 50 caliber that he sprayed up Pajero, and those in a Pajero that the bullet couldn't touch him. This story about the Capitol building, after it got burned, the next day, the same legislature were able to put $1.8 million in the budget to do a feasibility study on that building. Without no investigation of what had happened, that's tell me, it just reminded me about that Flansamington story, that let's do something crazy to eliminate certain people. That's my thought. I just seen it. Noise coming from somewhere, guys.
No, okay. Are we okay? I think from God, will you want to mute?
Yeah, let me just chip in on it, Jamal. You see, the reason why, Paul, that there will be outright raised on the opposing parties from the speaker's saga is because when you watch most of the videos that they had head-to-head clashes, there were people making these kind of flimsy statements that if there is no COFA, that the house will be burned down to ashes. So the police, national police, will obviously look for these people and get them, as the police can terminate people of interest. So I think the president was speaking from that perspective, that they have people of interest that they are going to ask questions before they can, carry on further investigation, or maybe call for an extended source, to source the investigation or to aid in the investigation. Another thing that raised concern to me was that why would anyone in their mind that this building was built in the 50s, out of 56, or it was built 56, dedicated 58, or dedicated 56, with an annex in either 2012 or so, 2018 or 2012. Two annexes were built by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, dedicated by Josh Weir. And I think they have 40 for the representative, 20 for the Senate. In your mind, you wake up one morning and just go and say, okay, let the building come down to arches. When you at the time were just office boy for one of those working in that building and fighting for that building to move forward. And you get there today and say, okay, because one Kofa is not speaker, so that place should be burned down. For everyone, me, I will call that person as a person of interest, and we will ask them questions. It does not mean that they are guilty, but we will have to ask them questions. Liberia should be a country of law. And it was pathetic that I could see the Parliament building is gutted with fire, and fire truck they don't even have on the grounds of that building. Fire extinguisher they do not have for themselves, but they will be calling for $75,000 salary, that they will be telling you they got 2 cooks, they got 3 cooks to their house, they got 4 persons washing their cars. All of those fake structures just to steal the Liberian people money. And whereas the building that they sit in to do the corrupt act, ain't got fire extinguisher. Ain't even got water truck to say, okay, we will supply the building with water when water and sewer is not supplying water in the building. They don't have it. The other day you all saw the video that they were using bucket to put water in somewhere in some bathrooms. That won't happen again there. So it was not strange, but it was pathetic for me that my country, let's imagine if it was a hospital getting burned, that they need to evacuate people out of that building, patients out of that building. People would die, not from what they went there for, but they would die from the fire. But we got people in parliament sitting there and making huge sum of money, and they don't care, bro. They don't care at all.
Thank you very much. So, okay, we move on. Thank you. That's the first statement on the house, the Capitol building that got a fire on the 18th of December. And I was still waiting for a report from the government to see where we stand on this. Until then, Brother will be following up and will be bringing you all the details. Now, before that, there was a story before that. This is a story. I don't think I want to go into that. It was a bloody day or Tuesday before that, before the building got on fire. But then we'll move on. Don't waste too much time on this. Now, gentlemen, this is another story. At the end, somewhere around December 20, not too far again, just a couple of days ago, these are the more people that those people you see on the front page newspaper. Most you will say why use front page newspaper. We have access to most of their archives. So and if you look at it, it's almost the same. Every newspaper carries the same story. But now, what's happening here? You see the guy, the CEO of the Spoon Network, and you see Amara Conan, you see Councillor, what's his name, Tara Gongolo, we see John Molu, and these used to be the powerful supporters of JNB. And now, what the newspaper is saying here, that these guys come and they're all singing the same song, saying the person is not heading in the right direction. The government is not heading in the right direction. government. I just want 1 minute comment on each of you. Do you agree on that from these gentlemen? The comment from them. Do you agree that the government is not going the right direction? The rescue mission is not a rescue mission. It seems to be a suicide mission. Do you agree? Anybody can start, Paul or God.
Well, the names up there, those are the people and the faces we're looking at. Those are people that fought to bring this government to power.
Yeah.
So if they're now saying the government not going the right direction, that means it's true, because we just a few minutes ago that this government have failed. So everyone is seeing it in with their naked eyes, and these are all strong people. Amakone is dead. Tewon Gonglo is over there. And then who else? John Molu. They all of these people you see there, it have been alleged that the president had just cut them off completely. So they have all right to be angry, and then the way the country not going, when I closer to you, Jamal can call you and give you advice, say, oh, Jamal, let's do things this way, things not going. And you decide to block me off, and I can call you. The late Prince Johnson also complained about that because he demands that's why his photo is not over there. But they all complain that they've been cut off, and they're angry, and they're seeing what everyone is seeing. So, I mean, you can see that the president is on a different level now. I enjoy the president by way. He can fly from Monrovia to Lofa County with a nice, beautiful Russian jet, and then the next day he fly with private jet to Ghana. Look, give our president a break. Let the man enjoy his time. Maybe tomorrow he'll get things right. In the first month, the first year, it's just to set the pace for the coming year. You remember this was they just did their arrest agenda for developmental purpose starting 2025. So the gone year was the year that the president, set himself nicely. He wearing blue shoe, blue socks, dressing nicely. So it's not about the country. So these guys should wait now. The papi has set the new standard. Come 2025, he will now start implementing his policies. So they shouldn't get angry. They brought him on board. Now because they've been cut off, now they're angry with him. They should give my president a break.
Okay. fair comment. You want to say something? So Mary, a quick comment on that, please. Let's move on. We need to try to wrap up before you go see the year round, because you see the year before us, God. So let's see what you have to say about what the gentleman say concerning the president election.
I have a different opinion towards that. Amara Conan, the senator, is a very good statement, and I respect him a lot. In fact, I admire him a lot, and I do follow him very, frequently.
Okay.
And as a president, many presidents, political power people will often distance themselves for several reasons. And you said it, Paul, that while they were supporting him, all of them could have had their own opinion towards the developmental goals. But they crafted an agenda that they wanted to follow. So if the president, in his opinion, or he deemed their action unfit, he would distance himself. Secondly, some people will be giving advices to the president for their own gains.
Right.
It's no disrespect to the senator or other people on the list there. We know people of good character there as well. The former auditor general, is also a good man, and he's inclined. So it sends out a signal when these people are also coming out with this statement. But let's make a comparison with the Ghana just ended election. Right after election, read some of the news headlines from Ghana right after their election. There are tons of people and comments that is condemning the Ghanaians' action on just pushing away the former president like that, because most of the development happening in Ghana now has started with him. But they don't see the further goal, the achievement. They're looking at just what they can get for today. You know, so Senator Cornell could have some good points as to why he's making this statement. The Auditor General as well could have some good point why he's making this statement. But on the overall, I said it before, the government has not done well in their first year. So I think it actually is an approval to their statement in general.
Yes,
But I can say for a fact that Joseph Burger is aware that he has a huge tax,
right.
and he should keep his focus on doing those things for the Liberian people.
Thank you. Right. Thank you very much. First statement, guys. Now, I know we are Liberian here, whether you like it or not. That country, Christmas is a day. I don't know what you say. It's a day we all celebrate. It's a day we enjoy. It's a day we see as one of the best days in our life in Liberia. And if you are in the government, you are paying, you need to get paid that day, because you need to. If you're a Christian, you go to church. You come from church. You want to have a good meal. You want to celebrate with your family. And now this is what front page describe that day. Gentlemen, you say it's not the Merry Christmas. It's on Merry Christmas. I mean, you and I know that we're receiving text messages from home sending some low support for family members to at least have a meal that day, because they can afford that day. They want to have at least a square meal that day to at least end the year. So, but the story says that it's on Merry Christmas. Do you agree with the newspaper headline that Liberia today did not have a Merry Christmas, but on Merry Christmas? Quick. Could you get 1 minute on this, guys, so we can able to easily wrap up this ASAP?
I disagree with the newspaper article, to be honest.
All right.
You know, it said when you go to church or in your room, you pray to God that God send me what I want. God will give you what you want.
Okay.
You see, these people ask for Unity Party government, and they got the Unity Party government. So we all happy. They had a very Merry Christmas. They should not spoil the government name. The newspaper just go up there. I just gave it. The people had a Christmas.
Okay, Paul, but let me, before God speak on it, it's not everybody that is majority of voted for the Unity Party government. But then when you vote, you have to accept the people's decision. But should everybody suffer? That's the question. That's why you're saying that's your point, Paul.
That's the beauty of democracy, majority.
Okay, all right, then fair enough. All right, God, what's your point on this, or your take on this?
So, Jamal, let me just say this. The reason I just, in the previous paper that we reviewed, the reason I talked about Ghana's issue is because I would have wanted to close on this, and thank God I'm discussing this on Merry Christmas issue. Let me assume that my own standard bearer, Alexander Cumming, becomes president for Liberia,
right,
and it's taking some harsh decision that people are complaining, and an article comes to us like this that, oh, okay, the government is saying if you're supposed to take pay at the end of the month, it is at the end of the month. In the Western world where we are, Jamal, nobody care for your religion, your Christmas. Your religion stays in your heart. And I did not get my salary for Christmas, bro. It's the same with New Year. I'm getting my salary at the time I'm supposed to get it. My company does not care. They don't want to know. So my faith stays with me, and my work and my professional things happen accordingly, the way they are supposed to happen.
Okay.
And
okay,
if it is some political constraint that caused it, if, for instance, it had been a tradition from, I think, empathy from president to president, Jamal. I don't think it is any kind of regulation that they can pay the people is on the book that they must pay them before Christmas. You know?
Right, okay. All right,
So
okay.
what I think the government should now do is, okay, since they know that, okay, things are hard in the country and they are not making it better, maybe they can start paying the people 15 days, then it helps.
Okay.
Jamal, please, before you close, the government supposed to create jobs for people. So if the jobs, they're not getting jobs, who already, the newspaper just told us it's a failure of the government. Everybody know. People know there's no jobs. So
right, okay.
Paul, no. The people, Jamal, 1 minute, please. The people the newspaper is referring to are the people who are employed.
Yeah, and we know that.
So if those people are employed, they're supposed to know when they're supposed to take pay, Paul.
They tell you every month.
Okay, let's have it this way, guys. Let's get some fair judgment here. It's customary in Liberia, it's a tradition in Liberia that we all celebrate, kind of 90% celebrate Christmas, whether you are Christians or not. And it's the national day we all observed. Now, well, that's a day people, it happened here, people go to see family friends, 26 in the UK, which is seen to be a day where you sit, we have meal with your families, you share gifts, Boxing Day in the UK. And in Liberia, it has become customary or a tradition that on Christmas Day, that's the day we jolly around, we see family. Whether it's in Europe or in US or whatever it is, it's a tradition in the country. So it also believes that Liberia, the major employer in Liberia is the government. And if the government employees get paid, it also is a ripple effect, dominating effect. Others will also benefit. So that's the reason he's saying, that's what I'm saying, because government service did not get paid, it has a ripple effect on the citizenry. So this is my point. You know that when we were back home, our family friends will get paid on that day. You got tip for your family, you have friends. Because they get paid for Christmas, they got their birthday, they had a meal on Christmas. It has been customary for years and years. So why would you compare that to that of the West right now, guys? That's my point.
Jamal, there's no comparison in the West. You see, somebody called me from Liberia for New Year. Let me give you this story. And the way the person said it, they don't have something for New Year. They go for a wash net, and they didn't have good Christmas. So I said, okay, through all the year, if you want to celebrate something, your uncle gave you things. The noise coming from somewhere, guys.
Okay,
Go
on.
$10, when you blow that $10 off, then the person says something to me that I didn't know. They say, the money changers in Liberia now, the money changers, they are the new bankers in Liberia. So what they do, they carry $1 or $1.50 anytime you have it, carry it, the money changer will mark it down. They give you a card. That's how they save that money, because they need their money to open bank account. So like today that wash night, the town is so broke. My cousin telling me they're going to the money changer. They get, I think, 23,000 liberty there, and they're going to take off 15,000 to spend. So why am I saying this? We know that there's a lot of people unemployed in Liberia. People send money to their relatives back to back for things. So that money, you can't take $2 and carry to one money changer to get you card that you be keeping it. Then when Christmas like this come, although the government not going to pay people on time, or they got to wait until the 30th before they get paid, and you still depending on the government that not even creating jobs, and you been managing through all the year. So it's just another way by the government teaching them, try to save your little 1 cent every time somebody get you 5 cents, take out 1 cent and put it down for big occasion. That's what the government is trying to do. So I in line with the government. I agree with the government. This is the government who brought in, so the people should not complain.
Thank you.
Jamal.
No, I think I have that story now. We need to go forward. Listen, there's a story where reported about Oracle. I'm sorry, I have to go fast. There's a story about Oracle support. This is the story I want you guys to look at. Jimmy Carter's African legacy, first U.S. president. Jeez. set foot on Liberia, so it died at 100 years old. You know, I want to disagree with the newspaper story that he was not the first Liberia. I mean, I'm U.S. president to go to Liberia anyway. But now, just about this is a little bit of going back into Liberia in 1978. I think Paul was staying in grade school those days. Paul, you tell me just 1 minute your experience when this guy visited Liberia in 1978, Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, good thing I was in elementary school. You know, when he visited Liberia. There was school on the bypass that they call Richard Nixon Elementary School. So we were wearing blue and white uniform those days. So what happened? All the elementary school or junior high school would take the kids and land them on the street. So we went to City Hall. We were all there waving Liberian flag to welcome Jimmy Carter, and was exciting that time to see a U.S. president. So I remember him from seeing somebody he and the crowd. So that's the memory that I cherish up to today. It was the first time I was seeing somebody as what we call our father or our me partners in the global community. So yes,
right.
I that time.
You want to share your thought on this, Gat? Say one or two things.
Yeah, sure. I also agree with you that it's a lie that he was not the first. I know that President Roosevelt visited Liberia and should be the first.
Yeah, you're right about that. I got a story on that.
Yeah, I think 1943 or so, he visited Liberia.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Jimmy Carter did well not only for Liberia, Jamal, he did well for Africa. And following his story and his legacy, when he contested the election and lost again, he chose not to be a politician that would be popular by politics, but to be a state person and a philanthropist that the world will recognize far beyond politics, and that his action will yield results even in politics. And you find that all over. So, and I think he also did well with the Korea and America relationship. And it worked that today they have good partnership.
Right.
So
that's good. Good analysis.
Arches.
Yeah. Thank you very much. That was if you just joined us, this is the Bottom Liberia coming to you live from Europe. My name is Jamal Kamara. Tonight we are discussing the year in review, or looking at the year in review with my colleagues Paul Deloach in London, and also Augustus Gart Tome from Germany. We're looking at the year from January 2024 to December. And we're looking at the years, we're using the major newspaper in Liberia, the Front Page Africa newspaper, the New Republic, Independent, New Down, the Oracle, and many other stories. And you're just seeing on the page of the newspaper, the front page is that it was 1978, the late President Jimmy Carter went to Liberia, now with the late President William R. Talbot, in a car touring the street of Monrovia. So just to let you know just of back history, went back to the archive and get the story out. So I want to say thank you for joining us. We'll continue. We've got a couple of minutes to wrap up the story. Let's see what we got. This is the story. I know this is going to be a little bit of talk of town. This was one I just announced back another discussion in the courts around city. The president was the president Joseph N. Boakai was in Lofa County a couple of weeks back, early somewhere around in 25th of December. He was, before Christmas, he was in Lofa to commemorate the 60th anniversary status of the county, the three counties, Nimba, I think Lofa, Nimba, and something. I don't know which county, three counties, 60 years old to commemorate that in Lofa County. And he made a comment. This is comment he made, and we'll be talking about on this platform. But now, this is what the newspaper said. And you were talking about Paul. I think we had a story about that. There was a story somewhere, I think, about Lofa, and I want to let you know where it started from. Let me see what we got there. Paul got something there for the president. He would be okay. This is what he said. This is what the president said. We want to encourage those who want to remain corrupt, steal money, and they will, I beg you money. I beg all the money should be used to bless our people. So because of that, this is the story this one came out with. He made our statement. So steal and bless the people. President Barker shocking Christmas Eve remarks ignite national outrage. So God, I don't want to ask Paul on this. Paul has made comment on this. God, so our president be very careful in making the utterances because it can be taken out of context or issue with. I mean, what do you think? That statement was it? No, you follow that. What is? I'll let me give you a chance to tell me what you think.
Yeah, obviously the president should be careful in his utterances, and it's funny, like President Joe Biden the other time, right before the parliament, he was there. He made a statement, and they were already frowning at him for it before the people. Then he
Yeah.
got us out while the journalist was interviewing. He made another reckless statement. Then he asked, "Is that on the recording?" Yeah, so it's like the same with President Boyka, right? Well, Jamal, looking
Yeah.
at the political space and the happenings around, I think Boyka was making a rhetorical statement.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Okay.
that's what I said the other day. I hate that our president will continue to seek counsel from
Mhm.
presidents in Nigeria because even the presidents in Nigeria are not making any significant, impact to their country, and you will go be looking at them for counsel. I remember if it's not President Babangida, one of them, either before him or he himself made that statement before, and the public took it. And I think what he meant at that time was when you steal and remains in a country, we're not saying we're not investigating you, we investigate you, but those things become, a better use for the country. Yeah, but I think it's not a justification for corruption. So it was actually not in the right way mentioned.
All right then. I think we want to Paul. You want to say something on this? Then we take it around to our last comment for the year, and I want you guys to go each and every one of you to tell our audience, our followers, and all those who that make this borderline a special year. Before I do a wrap up, Paul, you want to comment on this the newspaper article before we give you a round to give your last comment.
Yeah, the thing is, the president said what he wanted to say. He gave out a New Year message that encouraged people like us now that were never thinking of working in government to work in government. So I'll be looking forward to joining. I hope he gave me a job too, so I could help to stay and then help bless our people. But
Okay.
the picture, I really like it because look at my president. The dressing, the papa dressing now these days is just unbelievable. Look at this presidential dress, man. That's the only thing I see on the news. Yeah, very nice.
Thank you very much.
Very nice. Great show.
I'll go to God, Augustus God to me, and I want to say the young Augustus God to me. We wish a lot you a lot for you this 2025. I know we want to come to Germany. We did not have the chance to attend the wedding ceremony for you, and we want to see a lot coming. I know a lot of things in the package which we don't want to reveal right here. God, we want you to take this time. We are at the end of our review of the year. I want you to say thank those people, send a special greeting to those, and I want you to leave your last word for us for the end. This is a little edition of our online discussion. Then I'll go to Paul, then I'll take a wrap up, and we'll wish our audience in a happy 25. God, Augustus, to me. Let me hear from you.
Oh, thank you so much, Jama. To our great sponsors, we want to say thank you so much. We do appreciate you for every means and every ways you have supported the bottom line and making sure that the bottom line can still remain functional and bringing to the public good information. We say we love you and we appreciate your sponsorship, and we look for also better partnership with all of our sponsors and even people out there who want to, sponsor such kind of endeavors. And to our many viewers, consistent ones, I also want to say thank you also. Thank you to our followers. Please also follow us on all our platform pages. We now have, I learned that we now have a TikTok account. Please follow us there as well. We will make ways to be going live on all of those platforms. So continue to tune into us also on our online radio. We have it is 24/7. And we love you all, and we wish you a prosperous and wonderful 2025. Happy New Year.
Thank you, God. Paul?
Well, I think it's already New Year in Germany. Happy New Year, guys.
Almost in Germany. Next 15 minutes will be New Year.
No, I am in the New Year now, Jamal.
New Year already.
You already 2025.
I'm 9 minutes and 10 minutes in the New Year.
All right, sorry about that. Okay.
So I want to say Happy New Year to you guys, and I will take this time to say to all our panelists, thank you for being around and making this show a very good show and making it a success for 2024. As you have taken your time, being dedicated, it's a hard work that you come here every day to get the program. I want to say thanks. And followers, don't for all of these years. I want to say special thanks from the bottom of my family. I wish you happy Christmas, New Year, and we hope that 2025 will be a better 2025, and we'll continue to look to you for your support as you lead us through 2025. I want to say happy New Year, and God bless you all. We love you and continue to follow us. And to the panelists, we want to say continue the hard work. We wish you all the best in 2025, and I hope that this program become big and we anticipated last year. Happy New Year.
Right now, that wraps up this show of the Bottom Line Liberia this year in review. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the significant event that shaped our nation over the past year. As we reflect on both the challenges and the triumphs, let's carry forward the lessons learned from and continue to engage in meaningful conversations about our beloved Liberia. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave us a review to help us reach more listeners. Join us next time as we explore more stories and insights that matter to you. Until then, stay informed and stay engaged. Thank you for listening and being part of the Bottom Line. We want to say a big thank you and want to wish you a prosperous 2025. And I want to leave you with this special music from Liberia, All Right Liberia, from our sister, that's Adam. That's Kevin Adams. And I wish you a happy 25. Thank you and God bless you and all the best.
This is Bottom Line Liberia.
This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube and online radio. This is the Bottom Line Liberia.